This episode of the Big Ass Cornhole Podcast is brought to you by Cornhole Solutions. Do you have a cornhole question? Find your answer at cornholesolutions.com for the best boards in the business. If you use code BigAsp, you can get yourself 10% off, and don't disappoint yourself. Use the code. Look at that, Sean's pointing right to it. So use that code, save yourself 10%, get some new boards. Everyone needs them at cornholesolutions.com.
Welcome back to another episode of the BigAsp Cornhole Podcast. Sean and Dane are with you once again.
That we is.
What's going on, man?
Dude, not too much. Work's a little crazy, but count down the days until we head off to beautiful Kansas City for the Open. So won't come soon
Dude,
enough.
it's coming up fast, man.
I know, and I need it to.
But today's draft day.
That it is.
Love these episodes. All right, well, before we get into everything else, all right, we obviously have to let you know what we're drinking. So, Dane, let the folks know what we're sipping on tonight in the segment we call What You Drinking.
What you drinking?
Well, Sean, we're bringing it back to the Irish roots, sipping on a little Irish whiskey. It's called Bua. It's just B-U-A. And it is, it's a new Irish whiskey I've never seen on the shelf before, but it is delightful. So we got a little ginger along with that Irish whiskey to help it go down a little bit easier.
Is there anything better than
Dude, it's my favorite.
whiskey and ginger?
It's just my favorite go-to.
God.
Like that's what I get messed up on at weddings
Yeah,
typically.
exactly.
Yeah. It's perfect.
It's to the point where my wife knows if I go up to the bar and I come back and she sees it, she just knows. She's like, seriously? Like you saw me after the wedding, the last wedding I went to.
But she can't be disappointed in what it does to your dance ability.
Oh,
all right?
I'm a phenomenal dancer.
Yeah, it cranks it up to 11 for anyone sipping on a little Irish whiskey. So, again, thank you, Bao or Bua, however you pronounce it.
Whatever, it tastes good.
It's delightful. It was a great find, about $10 cheaper than Jameson, and 5% stronger. So you can't.
We
go
did
wrong.
find. So I was over here Saturday. While we're out drinking, you made a great discovery
Dude,
that
things
might
are
be a
killer.
banger this summer.
Yeah, so Jameson released, it's just a cocktail from Jameson that's lime, ginger, and Jameson.
Oh my god!
They're 6%.
Move over, truly.
Dude,
I mean,
yeah,
this stuff
they
is.
are so drinkable. I mean, Sean and I had a 4-pack, and like we
Oh my
looked at
God.
it like 10 minutes later, we're like, oh shit, that's gone. But yeah, it's a great find. So be on the lookout for it. It's delightful.
Well, folks, we have another amazing episode planned for you all. Today is draft day. We have the ACL National. The first ACL National event for 2022 is starting up this Friday.
Oh yes.
So we have doubles and singles and women's doubles and seniors and all that stuff. So later on, after our little part here, we're going to be joined by Brendan Ahern, the retired dog father, and then owner of Fire Cornhole, Jason McCannon.
I didn't realize that Brennan owned dogs.
Yeah, he does. I think he has, doesn't he? Does he have a Boston Terrier and something else?
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I think he has a Boston Terrier and something else. I can't remember.
Anything Boston related that man has.
Yeah, I can't remember what the other kind of dog is, but anyways. But yeah, so we're going to do a draft. But before we get into all that, we're going to let you know what's going on in our cornhole lives, a segment we call In and Around the Hole.
Are you too good for your home? Answer me!
Brought to you by Blackjack Cornhole. It is literally the best looking logo in the game. If you haven't grabbed us anything, right? Bags, jerseys, hats, swag in general for blackjackcornhole.com, you're doing something wrong with your life. So stop what you're doing, go to blackjackcornhole.com where you get amazing customer service and free shipping. And if you use code BIGASP, you're going to save yourself 10%. So go to blackjackcornhole.com and grab your stuff today.
And brought to you by Local Bags. Are you in need of cornhole bags? Yes. The answer is yes. All right. And if you don't have any local bags in your arsenal, get some. We say it all the time. Pro Blend Resin. It's the real deal. Don't disappoint yourself. Up your arsenal. Go to Local Bags. Go localbagcompany.com and grab yourself a set.
Localbagcompany.com. Did you throw it all?
Actually, I went out on Sunday and
Oh, that's right,
played
that's right.
in a blind draw up at Dave and Buster's, hosted by was that Michael? I can't remember.
Like something, yeah.
It's as
Something Italian?
yeah, something
Yeah.
Italian. It's so hard to keep track of names. I'm gonna find it here
Anyways,
in a second.
how did you throw?
I actually started to find it. My PP or my whatever they call it on
PPR?
Scoreholio. What is that?
Yeah.
SPR.
SPR.
That's what it is. Went up 8 points.
Okay, solid.
I averaged throughout the day actually a 9.8.
Okay.
I thought it was actually worse than that.
And you were throwing something a little different. What
I
were you
was
throwing?
for the first time. I was chucking the Viper Bees, and man, I'm telling you what, I was
Dane fell in
lighting it
love.
up. Yeah, something about that bag. It was just very, very hole forgiving.
Yeah, it
but
is.
still
For a
throws
slower
a
bag,
little
yeah.
carpet-esque. So you could really keep it low, and that's when I throw my straightest, is when I'm just not overthinking it. So yeah, it was working out very, very well. So I was happy. Had me and a newer player named AJ in the area. He's up and coming. He's intermediate level right now, but I'll tell you what, man, he was throwing great. We had a great time. Just good to get out and play in a quick little blind draw that's not league. I don't know. It was just different faces. And
Yeah.
a lot of fun, man. Had a good time, and didn't end up in the money, but we're just shy. So
I got you.
that's cool, man.
I threw, obviously this week at work, I get set up the boards, before work, especially on Wednesdays. It's kind of like my big day. I try to get to work like 30, 45 minutes. I open the office, set up the boards, and kind of just let it rip. Was testing out the Mother Shucker bags. I have, for how close they are to us, I've never thrown a Mother Shucker.
We don't see him too often here.
Every once in a while you'll see
Yeah.
him, but I've heard good things about him. And I got to tell you what, I was pleasantly surprised. They sent us 4 series of bags. It's like 313, the
989, 517.
yeah, and then the 586.
Yeah, and
All
dude,
all 4 really nice
yeah,
bags.
like them all.
So the review's going to be coming up. So coming up in the future, we have Mother Shuckers, and we're going to be doing a review of several Ultra Cornhole bags, some of the newer ones like Widow X. What else did they come out with?
Viper B, Psycho X.
Psycho X, yeah. So we're going to do some of the newer ones that they came out with. We have Burley bags that we're going to be reviewing. We have Young Guns Cornhole. We have more bags from Strive Cornhole. We have Cutthroat Cornhole sent us a set. So we have plenty of bags coming up. We're looking forward to it. But going forward in this episode,
Yeah,
right before the national event, last year we did a draft episode every time with the Dogcast. Obviously, the Dogcast decided to
they
retire.
packed it in.
We figured it'd be appropriate for the first draft that we're doing to at least bring one of them on. So we're bringing Brendan back, and then we're also bringing Jason McCannon, a guy that we've become friends with, through the podcast and everything, and I'll go into different events.
All we can say, this is a BigAsp episode. So when you start listening to the interview portion or / draft,
I'm going to try my best to moderate. Well, actually, Dane will probably have to
I'll
moderate.
probably
because
moderate, yeah.
the three
Even
of
though
us will
it's
talk.
hard with those two because you can't stop laughing long enough to moderate.
No.
So we'll just have to see how that goes.
But our goal is before every national, we'll do some sort of a draft episode, but we're going to try to bring on 2 different guests every time. So just to kind of shake it up a little bit. We're going to be drafting 4 singles, 4 doubles, and then 1 women's doubles team. And if you draft the winner of a bracket, so whether it's women's doubles, singles, or pro doubles, you get a bonus of 100 points. And then depending on where you finish, if you finish in first place, you get 1,000 points. And then we're dropping it down by 25 points based on per what rank, right? Wherever you finish. So basically, if you're a player that you pick finishes outside the top 40, you get no freaking points.
0.
So
0 points.
but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it was so hard. I did my bracket preview, so Hard Drag Push is back up and running. We took a little bit of hiatus, work got busy. There wasn't a whole lot of
There's also
cornhole
not
content.
happening.
But now the
We're not gonna
nationals
do
are
a
back.
right up for an open, so
It's just too hard because I don't have
we don't have the brackets.
Yeah, I don't have the brackets. I don't know what teams are. I could do it without the brackets, but I would want to know what teams are going to be pairing up, and we don't always have that early enough. So I posted up on Hard Drag Push the singles preview. I'm going to be posting the doubles preview probably on Thursday. But it's back up and running, so make sure you check out harddragpush.com. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this draft. It was so hard to do the singles breakdown because we've said it before. This rookie class is just the depth in it is scary deep, and there's no more easy matches. So before, like last year, I don't want to put anyone down, but there were certain matches you look at and be like, okay, this guy got a better than average draw. I think this year it's like you have to look at it's like, do they have a pretty good chance of winning their first game, and do they have a better chance of winning their second game? And then really from there it's a crapshoot because as you get close to the competition is going to get so tough.
I mean, the way I approach it when right now my list of who I think could win it, it's you look at it and it's hard to pick a rookie. It really
is.
is when you're looking.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's select few that
And I
we've
know they've
talked
been
about.
successful in the open events and,
Yeah.
and everyone's super excited, but this is a national.
It's
I
way
think
different.
everyone, like the pros that have been there, they want to bring their A game and everybody wants to prove that, like, hey, I deserve to be here. And I think that at least for how I picked it, experience matters.
Yes, and
to me.
that's exactly what I was going to
50-50
say.
matchup. Now, sometimes if the rookie's just super talented, I was really impressed, maybe I give him a nod. But in general, I was going with experience over, just skill level.
Yeah,
I think it's going to count for something early on.
I agree. And
So there's certain matches I'm excited to see. I think one of the matches that, if you listen to the ACL podcast, they touched on some of them, but one of the big matches, again, people can call us homers, but I think one of the biggest matches of the day is going to be Eric Anderson versus Delbert. I'm sorry, Foreman. Jacob Foreman. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Wow. Not the dad. I think it's Delbert Foreman is the dad, but it's against Jacob Foreman.
Yeah.
Listen, I know there's a lot of hype with Jacob going into the match. Again, this is one of those things where I'm giving a nod to experience.
I agree. Yeah,
Eric has been a top 20, top 15 singles player. I think he's going to have the will, the desire to kind of take that next step and kind of, again, show. That's a match to me. He needs to win to show that, hey, I belong in the top 15.
I mean, to me, I think the first national, we saw it last year, where the mental fortitude of these tournaments, it shows when you have the experience.
Yeah.
So I expect the same thing to happen this season. Now, by open number 2 and 3, I think it's all out
national.
I got national number 2 or 3, it's out the window. But this first one, I'm expecting the veterans to come in, kind of take care of business, and we'll see which rookies kind of make that little creepy run. But to me, EA all day. I think he's gonna do a good job taking that one.
So every bracket has certain key matchups that I think are gonna kind of just lay out the foundation, especially for singles. One of the big ones is first round you have Eric Davis and Steven Bernasette.
Huge.
That is such a contrast in styles. I would love to watch that match. I think board conditions is going to have a lot to play with it. In my write-up, I gave the nod to Eric Davis because he's coming off of a very strong performance in the North Carolina State Championships and because he's familiar with the bags. Steven, obviously he's had all off-season to throw Titan bags, but it's still not what he was throwing last year.
It is new. But
I'm not saying I doubt Bernasette. I think he's still going to be a top player, but Bernasette last year was a little bit up and down. He won the national, he won on that great run, but he wasn't quite as steady as we would have liked to see across the whole thing.
Well, compared to his doubles game, I
think it is important to say too is that last year, like Eric Davis and Brett Guy, they didn't get off to a great start of the first national.
Mm-hmm.
It took them one, but I kind of attribute that more to a rookie at their first national, and again, that's why I think experience is going to play such a big part.
But I have to ask you for specifically that matchup. I mean, we saw Bernasette do it last year.
Yeah.
I think Davis was a little lackluster on the single stage.
Yeah, he was
compared to his skill set.
I think he still finished top 10, but
yeah, but compared to what we were seeing him do in doubles, I mean, I think it's hard to think of him as like doing that great in singles.
It is. I think that this is going to be the year where he has the skill to crack the top 5. Will he do it? I don't know, but it starts with winning matches like that.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, the reason to me that's so interesting is because whoever wins that match is most likely going to be playing Jordan Power the next round.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
whoever
about as
makes
stuff
it
as
out
going
of
to get.
yeah, whoever.
I know
makes it
everyone's
out of
talking
those
about
first two matches.
the big 4. You have Cheyenne Renner, you have Matt Guy, Jeff Reynolds, and who am I forgetting? Alex Rawls. You have all 4 of those guys, and then they're going to have that next round. Everyone knows that. They've been talking about Bracket D, but there's other spots that I think that are just they're just really, really going to be really interesting watching matches. But I'm excited. I'm going to try to watch as much as I can. Now the nice thing at these nationals, they're going to have 4 different broadcast courts.
Yeah.
So if you go to I think the ACL Digital Network, you're going to be able to pick which court you watch. And so I think each court is going to follow a different bracket. So I mean that's going to be that's what we've been missing I think so far.
Oh, I agree. When are they going to get like a red zone going so we can just watch them all at the same time?
That'd be pretty sweet. I mean, eventually, yeah, send a bunch of people out
there soon.
Absolutely.
Well,
all right.
These boys are about to be on soon, so
yeah. So
sign us off like you know how to do.
All right. Well, as always, we hope you throw it straight, and it's nothing but 4 baggers from here on out.
Cornhole it.
Later.
In this exclusive draft is brought to you by Airwolf Athletics, home of the sexiest hatwear in the game. Go to airwolfathletics.com, use code BigAsp, get yourself 10% off.
It's also brought to you by Bagsboard, the maker of the original Cornhole bag backpack. Do you need sweet patches to go on your badass bag? Go to bagsboard.com. Welcome back to the BigAsp Cornhole podcast, and we are now joined by. Can we call you the Dog Father? Like, is that appropriate?
No, because that's where this guy Charlie Joyner, who's like an old cop, like who plays with us. His nickname is literally the Dog Father.
So, like, what do they call you?
It's not suitable for podcasts.
Drunk usually. Drunk usually.
Brendan Ahern.
I guess I'd be like the. I guess I'd just be like the leader of the bunch of retards. Sorry, you gotta cut this. Now you gotta restart it.
Nope. The R word's allowed now. The R word's allowed now.
Is?
Yeah, kind of.
All right, fine. Fuck it. All right.
Yeah,
Everyone's
whatever.
so sensitive about everything.
I don't mean it in the way that it's anti.
As long as you don't make a joke about trans,
I mean,
you're
like
good.
when I was 10
Folks,
years
it's
fine.
that Boston charm. All right?
2022.
There's no filter.
And also, not to forget, the quiet one, owner of Fire Cornhole, Jason McCannon. What's going on, buddy?
Quiet until I've had 4 or 5 more of these.
More.
You guys catch
Correct.
up, 'cause I'm about
Correct.
to pour myself another one here.
Yes, please.
Before we get.
All right, so we are going to be just kind of break this down. So we're going to be doing a draft here. We're going to be doing 4 singles players, 4 doubles teams, and then a women's doubles team. We're going to reverse the draft order. So we're going to go oldest to youngest in singles, and then we're going to go youngest to oldest for doubles, and then we'll go back to oldest to youngest for women's, just because Brendan doesn't know any women's team, so we'll give him a crack at it.
I mean, first I'm dropping I words. Now I'm like an anti-woman person. I'm like, I'm gonna be with Joe Rogan next week. Luckily, I already ended my podcast. It can't be canceled.
For sure.
Don't even get him started on his racist tendencies.
All right, so
Jesus Christ.
he's from Boston.
There we
We
go.
expect it. It's fine. All right. So, anyways, Brendan, you got first pick. You're on the clock here. Let us know who your first singles pick is going to be.
Did you guys already do like what you drinking and everything?
Oh yeah, we are. Yeah, we're good.
All right. So
Well, I'm sorry, what are
well,
you drinking? What are you
Yeah,
drinking?
what are you guys drinking?
I mean,
Yeah,
I
let's
appreciate
work.
you asking. Finally, thank you very
Sorry.
much.
Sorry.
Jason's drinking a Miller Lite. He just hung it up on the screen. I'm actually starting with a ruby red grapefruit and vodka, and I'm going to switch to Miller Lite in a second.
Okay.
So if you must know, off the keg, because I sat directly next to the keg, I knew I was doing this program.
All the low cal stuff.
All right, so I hadn't really thought about who I would take first. I did do research. As I said, I never have done research ever for one of these things ever. I looked at the brackets. The first time we did it when I was shit faced, I didn't look at the brackets. I had no idea what was happening. So I'm gonna go with God, it kills me to do this. I see. I'm not huge on this particular player,
Okay.
but I'm huge on my betting on this bracket. So out of the D bracket from the right side, I'm taking Birchfield.
Taking Birchfield.
Yes.
Guy.
So Jason, that means I think you're the next
Obviously.
oldest. You're the next oldest. So
I got Matt.
He
I got Matt.
already said it. He said he's taking Matt.
you're taking the goat. Taking Matt
Yeah.
guy. All right.
Same bracket, but I got to take it.
Yep. Other side.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Ryan Windsor.
Hmm.
I think he's just, money in the bank. Seems like I know he's got to go.
And he
with
gets
the
a bye?
cornhole guy, but I think he's gonna make it deep regardless.
Can I just say, can I criticize a pick for a second?
Yeah,
That
please.
left side of that bracket is fucking stacked, dude.
Well, with
Right?
Windsor?
Yeah. Tanner
cool.
Halbert, Ruben Hissner.
Yeah, I know. He's still the best
I'm
player.
just
out of
saying,
them.
man.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
Listen,
we'll
I know
find
you
out.
can't. Listen, if you want to tell the story again of how you created some if we want to get real dirty here, we can talk about the real reason how we came up with Air Ruben. We can talk about that, but we won't get into that right now.
Superior flatulence.
All right, so Dane, who are you going with?
All right, well, I get to double up here.
You do.
So I'm gonna start off with a very hot hand. I think he's primed to go. Give me Devin Harbaugh.
It's a good pick.
I don't even have my fucking list. This is I like that. Go ahead.
To follow up, I'm gonna take another one that I think is making moves in the right direction. Give me Duncan Clemmer.
Really? Okay. What bracket?
Okay, can I say something about Duncan Clemmer real quick?
Please.
Duncan's stroking right now.
Can I
He
say
is.
something right now about Duncan Dunk? When we were in Asheville and they were playing. I can't remember who they were playing. It was like a big game for them. That kid, like, he don't even give a fuck. Like, he first of all, I think he threw some shit I've never even seen, like up close and personal. And then he just turned around and started talking to me about like random shit because we went to breakfast that morning. It was like talking about the breakfast that he had. Like, it was like, I don't know if he knows exactly what's happening all the time, but like, dude, he is filthy, dude. Filthy.
He's filthy and fearless, which I think is it's something you need at this level. You gotta not be scared to go for your shot.
What bracket is Duncan in?
He's in C.
Okay, well,
Yep.
he's in C.
Yeah.
I got him winning C.
I think he's got to go through. I mean, there's a few other guys there on that side of the bracket. I mean, one of them's a rookie. I think that could give him a challenge. I'm actually going to go with my bracket C, who's going to win the bracket, who I think is due, who I was overly critical of last year, but I think he's due for this year. I think it's Tony Smith.
You fucking dick.
I just have a feeling, man. I think he's rolling right now. I think that I like his draw where he's at. I think he can kind of just control his own destiny. I don't think he has the easiest bracket in the world, but I think it's winnable for him for sure. So
Yeah, he's throwing great.
all right, Jason, it's up to you.
Area, so.
My picks are easy. Jamie Graham.
Oh, all right.
He's on one right now too.
I feel like
So let me ask you. So he won the singles at North Carolina, right? The guys state championships.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
beat Eric.
He smoked
Davis.
Eric. Eric was like throwing incredible throughout the day. I messaged Trey Ryder. I was like, if Eric's throwing like this next week, he's gonna win.
Okay.
And then he got to Jamie in the finals, and Jamie beat him 21-3.
How do you like Eric's draw first round?
Bernasette?
Yeah, I mean that's stylistically that's like a cornhole, like that's like a dream match to watch.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be a great game. But Eric, he threw the embers. He threw them at whatever open was before the state championship.
So
And
I
he's
think
like-
that's the only bag I haven't touched that you've released. It's a carpet bag, right?
Right, yeah.
What's the
That's my
slick
bag right
side
now.
of
That's
it?
my
Is it
bag.
like real slick or?
Yeah, it's rave, it's game changer,
I got you, okay.
surefire, all
Okay.
the same stuff.
Okay.
It kind of compares to well, it's carpet side, so it doesn't really, but like that, the way it moves on the slick side, there's like almost like a razor in a way, like the original razor bag, like where like it just drips and can get around stuff. Like, so it has some qualities that seem different to me than than like the torch, which I love the torch.
Is it that
It's a
same
great
carpet
email
that you
bag.
used on the other bag? On your
No,
other-
it's I mean, I know it's called Macarena.
Okay.
Industry
Hey.
secrets or whatever. I don't care. Some people are like freaking
Listen,
out, like don't tell the
obviously,
names
I
of
mean,
the-
you're like the fucking Oprah Winfrey of the bags, like selling bags for $33. Are you crazy? Like, are you serious? And then like, for
Well,
5
when you
cents or whatever
sell
the
a
fuck it was?
1,000 sets in a day at $40, it's not a bad day,
No, hell, fuck no. That's what I'm saying. That's pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit.
I
All right, Brett.
can't buy. I'm not even kidding. Like, there are a couple sets of bags I've wanted recently, and like I can't. Well, obviously, for years now, I'm like Superman after they he take his powers away. Like, I can't get shit for free anymore now. So like I'm like a nobody. So like I'm like, but I look at bags. I'm like, what the fuck? $135 for 4 bags. Fuck off. You know what I mean? Minus 100, and you can get a set of fires when they're on sale.
So
I
can
may
we
just go ahead.
let me ask you. So there is, I get, like, if you're an established company, right? So like if you charge $135 a set, people are still going to buy it because they're fire cornhole fans and they've got other sets and they like it. If
I would
you're a
never do
bag
that.
company that's still trying to convince people to buy your stuff, do you think that's the best way to go? Just like meet the market value and go 135, or do you think, like, as a businessman, like, do you think it's more important, like, put bags in people's hands, let the product speak for itself, and then
Well-
as it becomes more popular, then you can raise the price?
I'm not going to raise it. My thing is production. These other guys, they can't produce the bags.
Yeah.
So we can produce. I can sell them for $39.99 and then replenish my inventory the next week. You know, but we're gonna be set up before long where we're never out of stock. Everything is gonna be in stock on our site. It's like Amazon. You get it in 2 days. Boom, boom, boom. No matter what.
I mean, you're
series
pretty
is.
much there right now anyways.
Oh yeah. We're with the materials. It's hard to get some stuff right now, so we don't have everything in stock. But yeah, it's.
Gotcha.
I'm about volume.
Well, obviously. And fuck.
I saw your elephant picture you sent to Sean.
That's how I was gonna say. That's how. That's
Little inside joke there, folks.
Yeah,
Inside joke.
Yeah.
All right, so Brendan, you're up.
All right, so I'm gonna do something.
You got back-to-back picks here.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna do something that's gonna be unbelievably, like, probably detrimental to my team.
I love that.
It's probably gonna make. So here's what I'm gonna do. First pick. I'm going with a guy that I think this guy's due, and I like him a lot. I'm going Corey Gilbert on the left side of bracket B.
Light skin.
Light skin. Been
He's
on
a
the was
cool-ass
on the
dude, man.
Dogcast. Great dude.
Had a
I
great
hung out with
time.
him a lot in Nashville. Dude, probably one of the nicest dudes you ever meet. You know what I mean? And he's a fierce competitor, dude. He gets pissed off. Like, he gets mad when he loses.
Love it.
Which I like. Now, my next pick. Okay. I was so close to going the other way. I'm going to pick a fire player.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to give that hint out first. All right. I'm not going to pick what everybody thinks I'm going to pick Fruit Loops Davis. I'm not going to pick Fruit Loops. I'm taking with my next pick. I'm taking Trevor Brooks in singles, because here's what's going to happen. He's going to face Jamie Graham. Now, I was witness to a conversation between him and Jamie Graham where Trevor was like, yeah, well, if you end up in our bracket, and Jamie's like, I mean, we're going to fucking murder you if you're in our bracket. He looked at him like, dude, like, Trevor Brooks don't fuck around. You look at this dude, he's there for business only, dude. And he was like looking at him like, dude, he is business. So I'm taking Trevor Brooks because now that he's like, he's going to be officially fire sponsored now, right?
Oh yeah,
fire player.
Trevor
So
Brooks
let
is
me
fire for
ask
life.
you. He
yeah. So now I'm like the honorary fire for life.
who is
like,
his first
commentator.
round? Who is his first round match? Because he doesn't have an easy first round match.
And he's got somebody tough. Oh no, he's God. Pull the bracket up.
Which
I'll tell
bracket
you.
is he in?
I'll tell you. Hold on. He's in B.
He's in B.
On the right side of B. He's got. Hold on.
Is it Power?
It is Trevor Brooks has. Did I put the wrong thing? Oh wait, he's an A. Sorry.
He's an A.
Yep.
I'll
A
pull
on the
this up
right
before
side.
you. I'm gonna be shocked.
Because I think
It's
he's in the
possible.
same like subsection as like Almanza. I think. If I
He's
remember
playing
correctly.
Justin Riach. Riach.
Yeah, I think he's in Almanza's. I think that's right.
Yeah.
And then he's
Hey.
playing. Then he's gonna play the winner of Tornado and Isabella, and he's gonna play. And then if it's Tornado, he's gonna beat him. Tyler Cobb's in that one.
Okay.
Anyways,
the
he's
best
gonna win
player
the
in that
whole thing.
bracket is, I think Almanza. You got to make the argument right now, just because the kid. He just doesn't lose right now in singles.
No,
In
the
the
best player in
quadrant.
that. The best
What's
player
that?
in that. The
In
best
the
player. In that,
quadrant.
In the quadrant, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like in the
the
quadrant,
best
yeah.
player on that side is Trevor Brooks. That's a
I
fact.
listen.
And
I
will give
listen. It's
special-
exciting, man. Like, can I just tell you, I'm so excited to see him play with Jay Dotson. Like, I don't know how they're gonna do as a doubles team because I don't know how much Jay is playing right now.
They're gonna be fun to
But
watch.
they are gonna
though.
be fucking. The ACL should be hoping and wishing upon a star
Oh,
that those two
yeah.
make a broadcast because
Yes.
they would just be nonstop entertainment. Those
I'll
two
tell you who's
together-
not going to be happy. Whoever's playing Trevor Brooks.
Oh
and
my
Jay.
God.
Exactly.
no,
love it.
no.
They're not going to be happy.
No.
Talk about getting stuffed in a locker verbally. Like, oh,
And it's funny because Jay Dotson, like off the court, is like one of the nicest, like just dude, like ever.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
never met
Like,
him.
just he's so down to earth, like just crazy down to earth guy. But he's a good dude.
You know what's
I
funny?
can't wait for that pairing.
The guy who way before the podcast, our podcast, now defunct, at Mohegan Sun Final Chase, our buddy Lowry, who's a disaster, was sitting with Jay Dotson, and afterwards, like they were hanging out. And afterwards, I'm like, I was looking over there. I'm like, there's two people that have only one thing in common. They're both breathing the same air inside of this room. I'm like, you suck at cornhole, Jay Dotson's nasty.
All right, Jason, who's your next pick?
Got to go with Eric. He's throwing.
Ooh,
He's just once he gets a singles win on the pro level, I think it's going to be game on. I mean,
That's
he's
all I'm
to
waiting
me the
for
most
him.
talented player. He can beat anyone anytime. He's just and he's got confidence. I don't like his strategy. I tell him, and he's like, I'm not trying to block. I'm like, yeah, you are trying to block. Quit saying you're not trying to block. But that's his game, and I think once he gets that breakthrough, and that's kind of the way it was with the ACO. He always lost to Matt, always lost to Matt, always lost to Matt. He finally broke through one time, and then he started winning big events over there. So I think, when he moves up here, once he gets his first pro victory, it's going to be on.
Why did he go
Mickelson
away
effect.
from the flop shot? Because he was like, he went into the ACL like he was known for, right? And ever since, like, he's done, like, he'll still hit it occasionally. But you watch there's that legendary match against Caleb Hurt, right? The last year he was in the ACL, the motherfucker just flopped everything. Now, is it just because like he was just so comfortable doing it with that series of bags, or does he just, is it strategy wise now? Like it's just he's grown up or something? I don't know.
I have no idea. I mean, he'll say sometimes I can't flop, and then I'll watch him play, and he's flopping everything.
Yeah.
So Eric's just Eric. He's the most talented player in the world. I don't care what anybody says. Period. He's got more shots, more ability than anyone. And if he gets the confidence, the right strategy, he's going to be tough.
Still, my favorite video ever is when we were in Cincinnati. I was doing the live stream match where he was partnered up with Noah Wooten, and he pushed all 3 bags in the hole, and Noah's response still was like it was just like the funniest thing ever. Like he couldn't believe he just did. Like I was like, how
You told me your favorite video you took out of your dad's top drawer when you were in the 6th grade. You told me that when we were in Rock Hill, but whatever. That might have been a different video.
Well, I mean that was something like that too.
So was that in Diana Jones in the Temple of Poon?
Yes, correct.
You ever have your parents find any porno in your house at all, and like under your bed?
Hey, so we're not that old.
I was gonna say we had the internet.
Fuck. We had to me and McCannon, you had to put your fucking life on the line at porno.
Well, and and it was easy because like our grandfather just was such a dirty man. He just had stacks of Playboys just in his house, wouldn't even know normal reading material. That didn't matter.
Yeah, that was my uncle.
Yeah, those are my grandfather.
My own heart.
All right, so I'm gonna go with bracket D. I don't know if he's gonna win it. I think that he'll still make it far. I think he has the potential to win it. Just it depends on which version of him shows up. Josh Holland. I think he obviously has the talent to do it. I think the 3 people that have been picked from bracket D right now, or I mean, could all win it. But I have it where Matt Guy is gonna beat Birchfield for the king seat, and then I have it there Josh Holland's gonna lose to Matt Guy trying to double dip, but we'll see. But I think Josh Holland is worthy of a pick since you guys already took all the other guys in bracket D that I would want. So
all right,
finish off your singles.
Yeah, I'm finishing up my singles here. I'm gonna stick with bracket D, and I'm gonna go with the actual champion of bracket D, and give me Humans. I want Mr. Jimmy Humans.
I love the kid's potential. I think that it's not this one.
Nobody loves to complain about not getting credit. Nobody complains about not getting credit more than Jimmy Humans and Eric Anderson. Like professional non-credit getters. Like they're like, what about me? Like do something. As my father said, we do something once in your life, and then you get fucked.
Oh, can I just say? So we're doing that best of the bags bracket right now, and if you want to see something like just truly entertaining, it's watching grown men argue about which cornhole bag is best on these posts. It is the funniest fucking thing ever. Like I'm like, you realize, and they're like, it's just a popularity contest. No fucking shit. Like it's for fun. Like, and you guys are seriously like, and they're like trying to start like all keyboard warriors here, like ready to go out in the parking lot here and swing because of bags. But
I haven't paid attention to any of it, but I'm sure like those like psychos and like the 724 bag company and like those type of people, like they'll take a bullet.
Yes,
like fucking 724
they came up,
bag.
then all of a sudden,
they're like Apocalypse out, like shoot me the shoulder.
Dude, yeah, Reynolds finally
like
flexed.
3 hours, man. They had like 100 votes come through when they just put up one post saying like, hey, vote on this, and all of a sudden they're at like 1,000 votes. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
All right. Then to close out my singles, I got to jump over to bracket A because I haven't taken anyone there yet. We talk about him all the time. I want to see it from him. Give me Noah Almanza. I'm going to go with the Rook.
Okay. I'm going bracket B. It's the only one I haven't done. I think that, so obviously it's going to come down to, I think, a big matchup between me and McCannon, who's going to determine who might win this. I'm going with Jordan Power, who's going to beat Eric Davis in the second round and then just walked into the bracket final.
Now, I'm going to tell you a little.
Tell me a story.
Is Josh Thielen on that side? That dude can stroke. Light skin partner.
Yo, he's I think he might be.
I think he is. Yeah.
Jordan Powers in that bracket.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he plays the winner
man.
of he will play the winner of Bernasette and Eric
And
Davis.
so is Alex Hicks. I mean,
Yeah. So I'm looking at I picked like a top 5 for each bracket.
By the way,
I must have missed him.
I have your spreadsheet here.
Yeah, I must have missed Jordan because I would have had him in there. I've got Davis, Harbaugh, Hicks, Trey Hunt, and Kyle Malone.
Yeah,
my top 5.
I like Trey Hunt's draw, but I want to see him do it first. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I just feel like experience. Powers been doing pretty well at the open events, so I just take a chance.
I saw him average over an 11 in Asheville against Matt and lose.
Last week we posted a series. I think I just posted on YouTube of I think it was in Asheville where he threw his first bag wide of the hole, and an average player is just gonna be like, all right, well the best I can do is 10. He airmailed the next 3 bags, and the next 2 bags he just airmailed and clipped the bag just enough to keep fucking bringing it closer to the hole, and he fucking dragged it. And like that's when I realized I'm like never gonna be good at cornhole, like ever.
Never gonna be at that level, but
ever gonna be that good.
I'll take anyone
Be
on
good at
a
having
drinking challenge while we're playing.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, you're good at having fun. I mean, I've lost the drinking challenge to Dane. That's a fact.
That
By
was
the way,
dude.
Somebody called me out for my lack of drinking. Let's get Rich Bushway. He's like, because I was like, he's like, oh, the podcast. I saw him like casually, and he's like, oh, the Ipswich Bay thing, and he was like, what's up? You quit the podcast? Well, yeah, whatever. I'm like, dude, you're getting fucked up every Sunday night. And he's like, well, nice 1K beer nickname. You can't live up to it. I'm like, first of all, I'll fucking bury you, kid. I'll put you under the ground, 6 feet underneath it.
Can I just tell you the best part about that day when we did like the little live stream thing, right? That was the one we did. The second one we did.
Battle of the Bags too.
Dude, we had my
my
godchild's 21st birthday party. It was the middle of COVID, right? So they just did like at their house, like outside kind of thing. After we beat you guys and you guys were taking the month break, me and Dane started crushing tequila shots, and I brought over like vodka soaked gummies. By the time we got, I never like Dane can hold his shit. I've never seen him like.
I was fucked up,
dude. Like his wife drove us over there and he got out of the car. My mom's like, what the fuck? And like Dane, I think I took a picture and sent it to you guys. He just
dude, I know there's no way I can find this picture, but Jason, this picture looks like if he like was committed to a facility because he can't, like he lost his mind. Like like his eyes like are like looking through like 9 people. He's just like in a chair, like completely incapacitated.
And the best part was
I
he
knew that
found
was
his
gonna
second
happen.
wind on the drive home, and he rolled down his window and was just screaming shit, just random shit to anyone that was walking by. His wife was so pissed.
Dane.
I loved it.
Dane, that was a worthy win by you, by the way. I love it. That was
I
awesome.
appreciate that. And
Am I last? Do I have last pick?
For alcohol consumption, man, it's simple chemistry. I'm just bigger than
Yeah.
I can just put more.
That's true. That is a fact. Yeah, that is a fact.
In youth.
And youth. I mean, I woke up the next day
and you've got like
8 a.m. like a daisy. I mean, I've never had a hangover.
not a big deal.
It's my
Like
superpower,
fucking
like-
exactly. Yeah.
Close us out there.
Am I? All right, I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm gonna give Jay Rubin a little fucking bulletin board material here, Jay. I'm not picking you this
Last
time.
pick.
I picked you every time. I picked you every time. I love Air Rubin. I love the man. And I want him to prove me wrong here. Okay. I'm taking out of the left side of that bracket, which is a motherfucker bracket, by the way. That fucking A bracket is like fucking high dick city. I'm taking I'm hedging my bets here because I got Brooks on the other side, but I'm taking Tanner Halbert because I think like if he gets hot, like
Yeah,
I
it's
mean-
my pick. It was between Halpert and Almanza to me.
Yeah.
And I just went with Almanza because I mean, dude, the kid's just performing every open he goes to.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean,
they're just gonna take second and third place to Windsor. I mean, it's good, but I mean, they're solid picks.
somebody's got to lose, you know.
Yeah, correct.
Third and fourth.
Yeah, third.
You got Jamie Graham.
That's true. That's true. Is he
All right,
is he out of his funk now?
There is no Jamie Graham funk. Him and Matt, they're winning. So whoever got
Well,
first
I'm not
pick,
worried. I'm talking like obviously last year in doubles he was great, but singles like he was just. Was it just bad draws? Was it just?
Yeah, I don't know. And he definitely wasn't Jamie Graham, but he's Jamie Graham now.
Okay.
He's throwing really well.
I mean, listen, I think it's good for the game when Jamie Graham's really good. You know what I mean, that's what everyone wants to see. So I hope he kind of comes back. So we'll see.
He's the most strategic player, I think. You know, And he has
Listen,
great
when we had
talent.
him, I have to admit, like when we had him on our show, like it was a while back, I was pleasantly surprised with how cerebral he was. And I get that's gonna sound like I think
No,
that's gonna sound
he
mean.
doesn't show it.
Yeah, he doesn't come off as like a smart dude. But you talk to
Right.
him for a few minutes, and he's a really smart dude. Like well spoken.
Yep.
Like could he polish up a little bit? Yeah, he could. But we all could when we're that age. But he's really smart too. Like he really thinks about it.
Yeah, no doubt.
He's a good kid.
Throwing a million
He's a
passes,
solid dude.
but-
You just gotta break him down a little bit. He's like one of those kids. He wants to be like, he wants to walk in the park and mean mug everybody, but then you look like just fucking fuck with him a little bit. Then he smiles all at you. He can't help himself. It's a big teddy bear.
All right, so we're gonna move over to doubles. So we're gonna switch the bracket or switch the draft order. So Dane's gonna go first.
Dane gets
Dane,
100 fucking bonus points right here.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
snap. Look at that.
Go ahead.
What a flip. Yeah, so I think it would be dumb of me to not take these guys. And I'm sorry, Jason, but I got to go with Guy Graham to start it off.
Oh, yeah.
Start us off.
It's dumb not to.
Even though that bracket does have some killers in it too. So it's
I'm going for a team with all hype. I know everyone thinks they're gonna be really good, so I'm gonna go with it. I would love to see it. I don't think you talked about Air Ruben. I don't think I haven't really seen him throw a whole lot recently. I've seen him throw a lot from one side of his hallway at a
His living
board,
room?
and he's making a lot of bags. But if he switches to the other side, he can still make it. But I'm gonna go with them. I'm gonna go Ruben and Power. I think that they have a good draw in bracket B. I think they should handle their business, and we'll see.
Good pick.
Bernison and Guston taking like their Ferraris there. Remember that like Titan bags
Dude,
video? Like,
they're not fucking sweet.
that was nasty.
hey, they should have pulled up in the Civics. They really drive, by the way.
Anyone can live like a king for a day if you got $500 to rent a
We
car.
all know agree with fucking. By the way, Bach is starting to come hot and heavy over here, folks.
Absolutely. Jason, what's up?
Eric and Brett.
All right. So, all right, let me ask you.
Yep.
Last year, national number one, they didn't perform that well. Is that just because it was first national ACL event for them last year? Is Brett going to be Brett Guy that we saw last year, or is he going to be Brett Guy that we've seen like the last few opens?
He says he's going to be Brett Guy of last year. He's practicing a lot the last couple weeks.
Okay.
So
All right.
I'm excited to see them. I mean, they're just a tough team, man. Because
They are.
Eric does what he does.
They
Eric
were
and
that
Jamie
good.
can't
They
play
were
together.
that good not because of Eric though last year. They were that good because Brett Guy was playing out of
Right, and
his
that was
element.
that back to my point. So like when Jamie plays with Eric, Jamie gets frustrated at the kind of the crazy stuff that Eric does because Eric doesn't play the smartest game, and it gets Jamie down. But Brett doesn't care. Brett's playing his side. So if Eric does something crazy, Brett's still doing Brett Guy.
You know
and
why?
not
Because
worried
Brett
about-
gets to be the dad in that relationship.
right.
I think that
I
really,
agree.
I
I
think
totally
people,
agree. The older
people think I'm crazy.
brother type
I
thing.
really think, yeah, I think that has something to do with it when he's constantly playing with it. I think, in my opinion, I think the worst thing they can do in the future is those two pair together. I really do.
Hey, I'll tell you, this is a little insider information. So,
Please.
originally when we set the teams up, I'm not sure that Eric, thought Brett would be the best partner for him.
Yeah.
Maybe thought like he could get someone better. As the year went on, towards the end of the year, I was just talking to him one day and I said, if you could pick any player in the world, for the future, if you partner of your choice, who do you want? He said, I don't want anybody but Brett.
They just seem
And
like
so
they just gel well,
yeah,
man.
they
Yeah,
gel really
it's just
well.
it's just a good team, man.
Yeah, it's hard to find that too. You
Yeah.
see all these
I
changes.
say that about
Yeah.
McCracken all the time.
Well, let me ask you, like, so Eric Davis is like an interesting character. Like, so obviously he's a young dude, but he doesn't like when you go to these events, he doesn't really hang out with like the younger crowd. Like, do you think
Well,
that?
he's young though, dude. Like Tony and them are like what, 21, 20, 19.
Yeah, I know, but
Like,
like,
Eric's
like
18.
Matthew
Eric's
Morton
18.
and like all those guys, you know what I mean? Like you see like that crowd, like they typically stick together. Eric's kind of, I mean, is it just he's just an introvert? He just is,
Yeah,
for lack
he's-
of better terms, a loner. I mean, which is okay. I mean,
he doesn't talk a lot unless he's with a certain crowd. Then he talks a lot.
okay, I got you.
One of those guys.
All right, Brendan,
those
it's up
guys.
to you.
Up. By the way,
Up.
that right side of that bracket, Sean, I'm kind of disappointed with your picking so far. You present yourself as like the guru. That right side of that.
The fact that you
thing,
just said
took-
that is why I'm good at what I do, because when I win this fucking thing, you're gonna look so dumb for saying that comment.
Oh wait, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I already have a buzz. I'm wrong. I was saying Jason, but he had to pick him because of fire. That right side of that bracket in D is fucking nuts. Brooks, Dotson, Dylan Gilbert, Brett and Fruit Loops, Hayden Dennis, Sims and Gross. Like, I mean, it's pretty fucking stacked over there.
Tough bracket.
Very tough. Very tough. But I know you have a lot of faith in your people. I'm gonna go hometown pick, obviously, as I would. I'm going to go with Noah and Tony.
Okay. They have all the potential in the world. I'm interested to see how that dynamic works. I would have.
Totally agree with
I
you.
wanted
Couldn't
to
agree with you
see
more.
personally. I really wanted to see Devin Harbaugh and Tony play because I think those two. You're talking about top 3 potential. Noah and Tony. I don't know. They could be top 3. Noah Wooten at one point was like one of the top players in the world. I think the game is. Listen, people might get mad at me for saying this. I think the game caught up to him a lot. Like, I think he's living a lot by name power now. I mean, Jason, you tell me you're around these guys all the time.
That's
Tell
not-
me about
wait,
as
wait,
scary
wait.
in
I don't-
today's game
that-
as it used to be.
That's not what I think when it
Okay.
comes to Noah. I just think Noah. I mean, personally, I know Noah very well. I just think he's running too hard. Man, he's always somewhere. He's traveling the country. He's in a car, an airplane, a bus, somewhere all the time. And it's just.
So you think he still has
he's
top 10
young.
potential?
Oh God! If Noah stayed in in the driveway and threw 4 hours a day, he can win the national. I mean, he's
Now-
he's got that.
We haven't
ability.
covered what the real problem is here. We have not covered what the real problem is with Noah's situation.
Girlfriend.
Noah is a young kid in love. That is fucking disaster
Love.
for everybody.
Listen,
Like,
I've said the same. Listen, I said
dude.
the same thing about Cheyenne Renner. Cheyenne Renner got the ring on her finger now. Is that going to fuck up some stuff? Let's see.
No,
Let's
I
find
think
out.
it's different with chicks and guys. It's totally different.
Oh yeah, because
I think,
is her
like-
personality going to change? Because we know that all fucking happens when you put the ring on.
Like, he is in love. Like, I remember being in love like that when it's like you just could get played by like PlayStation anytime by this chick. Like, I mean, and I know they're in love. Like, whatever. I'm not saying
Yeah.
anything against their relationship. It's unbelievable, but I'm saying that like when you're that in love, that's like your most important thing. Like, you are so in love that you're like, dude, like I just want to lay in bed all day. I don't really want to play cornhole today. You know
So
what I mean?
Jason
Like,
just needs
when
to
I
keep
was, like,
Eric away
that's
from
how-
girls because like if the first time like
Right.
that boy gets diddled, like he's gonna be like, oh my god, like he's gonna fall apart.
He's got a girlfriend.
It's
Actually.
diddled.
Does he really?
It's
Yeah.
diddled. Jesus Christ. Does he have a
word, right?
girlfriend? Yeah.
There
Yeah.
you go.
All right. Anyway, so by the way, after all my discussion, I'm counting on Love to bring us through. Noah, if you listen to this, all right. Love will bring us through. Tony, carry it. Let's go.
Are you
Got
getting
another
back-to-back picks? You get another one.
Oh, all right.
He wasn't. He's got to pull.
I
his
wasn't
game
ready.
book.
Blues Clues.
Look at this fucking ridiculous thing.
I know, I love it.
All right. I'll tell you. Yeah, this is actually my work notebook. You want to know what I got for interviews tomorrow for work? I'm going. All right. I have we talked about these guys earlier. Once I connect to a group of people and like, that's just like, I'm just totally in stovepipe all day. Love those two, Brandon Jones and Clemmer. Dude, the fire cornhole table was next to the stovepipe table in Asheville, and spent a lot of time with those boys. Love them. Think they're nasty, filthy players. They can get hot and beat anybody. There's no question.
And,
about that.
he's another Brandon Jones, another guy, sneaky, well-spoken dude. He was a phenomenal interview. I would have him on the show anytime. Like he was so well-spoken, like funny, personable. Duncan needs a little bit to be a little more polished,
Well,
but
Duncan was also like chilling in his backyard.
Yeah.
Like, it was pitch
Well, I
black.
think Duncan's one of those dudes. Like when I met him in person, like he's like opens right up. Like he's like,
oh yeah,
Oh,
no,
yeah,
in
no,
person, like when we met him at Worlds and stuff, he's a great dude. But I just said like in interview wise, like Brandon Jones, like very polished, like ready, like very professional, like we was on there.
well,
like, promoting and
let's
stuff.
also let the people in the audience behind the scenes, because Stovepipe puts asses in the seats. They put numbers up for podcasts.
Oh, yeah.
dude,
Yeah.
Oh,
they're
for
one of
sure.
our top podcasts of all time.
Absolutely.
They're
Wait, what
fact.
bracket are they in?
They are in the
They're D.
yeah
The loaded
left side of
bracket.
D.
Yeah, they're in the loaded
Yeah.
bracket. Okay.
So they get
That's what I
Hister
thought.
and Henderson. Yeah, it's a bitch.
Okay. And they're on the hard side of it, I believe, too, right? They're on that left side.
No, they're on the left side. They got Hisner and Henderson to deal with. Not a big deal.
Vodka strikes again.
Sounds like they're on the hard side, the left side, right? You're like, no, they're on the left side.
All right, Jason, you're up.
By the way, this is why I had to stop doing the podcast.
This I don't think this would be my next pick if it was one bracket, but the way this is playing out, I'm going Ryan and Isidro.
Okay.
The C
Smart
bracket.
pick.
I think they're the overall favorite there.
Can't read any of my writing, by the way. I'm trying to go through this. It makes sense.
All right, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go to bracket A. I think that they're a team that has the potential to beat Guy Graham because they're on opposite sides. Baldwin Renner.
Oh yeah.
Yep. I agree.
All right, Dane, you get back-to-back picks here.
I got to double up. All right. So this is tough. So I'm gonna go to let's go in the B bracket. I'm gonna go with probably to me the second best doubles team in all of Cornhole last year. Give me Bernasette and Gustafson.
Smart.
They have a really tough first round match again, or potentially. It depends on if Derek King is the Derek King of old, but they had King and Harbaugh the first match. But if they can get past that,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I'm
they
banking
should
on. If they can
have
win
a
that
pretty
one,
good
then-
path. I mean, you have Sanchez and the other guy who's that team from Buffalo Boards.
Yeah, Yeah, Jamie
Ernest
Sanchez and-
Monarca?
What's that?
Is it Ernest Monarca?
No, it's Jamie Sanchez
I thought
and
he played
can't
for Buffalo.
remember.
yeah,
Something.
Raul Sanchez.
Raul
Yeah,
Chavez.
Chavez, yeah. So that'll be their potential second round match, I would imagine. But those two have not been playing great recently. I think they're busy building up Buffalo Boards and stuff like that. But Bernasette and Gustafson haven't lost to anyone if it's not Fire Cornhole. So I mean, you might as well bet on them if there's no one else Fire Cornhole in their bracket.
Yeah.
You got
So-
It's like you gotta
All
kiss
right.
the ass of the guest every once in a while,
It's true though. I mean, I think the only team that they lost to in national events last year were if they had a guy on their team.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna jump over to bracket D for my next pick, and give me Birchfield and Rawls.
Under the breath. That was such a fantasy football thing.
Yep.
Can I interject with a question for the actual star guest here of McCannon?
Sure.
All right, let me ask you a question.
What makes
because
him
we
the
see
star?
this-
I thought
what the
you
fuck?
don't have a podcast anymore. You're just as big a star,
Well,
Brennan.
I'm just a hanger on at this point. I'm here for the ride.
Hanging
He's
out.
he's looking for
All right.
bags too, by the way. If there's
Yeah.
any bag makers listening.
I'm here to drop our words and just be a dickhead. So if there's been obviously some stuff that's happened in the past, like 8 months, somebody has an what would have to happen for a player to you to just drop a guy?
For
Now
me
I
to
know
drop
it's
it?
so I'm saying, okay,
Well, let's call it out how it is. TC Boards.
okay,
TC Boards
AJ
has
Sims.
lost Ruben and Power. Now I'm not
Yeah.
going to get into the backstory of that. I've been told from multiple sources what happened there. It's not my place to say. But then they recently just lost Gross and Sims. What would
And it was said that it
I think
was,
it's a good question.
And it was said that it was a breach of contract, right?
Correct for Gross and Sims. Yes.
So my question is and I think about this from my terms, what would have to happen for a guy for me to be now it's different with Jason because not so much, but you've known Jamie and Eric forever, right? Since they were kids, right? So that's a little bit different. You know them personally. That's a different thing. Whereas Brett and Matt, you grew to know through business relationship, really. You know what I mean?
Well, I've known them for several years as well. Not
Yeah,
as
but I'm
close as
saying,
Jamie.
but you
and
weren't.
Eric,
Yeah, exactly. You had to
Right,
call. Let's put it this way: you had to call him on the phone. You told the story in our show to
Right.
ask him to kind of pitch them, right?
Yeah.
I just wonder, what would make me be all right, I'm done with this guy. You know what I mean? Because it seems I don't know, whenever I've done I own a business, whenever I do business with a company, most of my deals are on a handshake and they're large amounts of money, and it's I just know I trust you, you trust me, and it's rare that you get fucked. It's rare. When you have a pretty good fucking back and forth with somebody, how bad do you have to fuck somebody You know what I mean? Like now I know it's different. There's a lot of money out there floating around. I don't know. What would somebody have to do to make you be like, fuck off?
I mean, they have clauses in their contract. You know, there's a code of conduct. I mean, I guess legal issues. You know, something like that were to come up. You know, we would have to. I guess
Like if they get like a 30-year prison sentence.
Yeah, I'll probably drop them then.
You fucking getting them going for like. There was a guy that actually used to play with us who went to prison for a year and a half for D-League. He's a post, the toughest bastard ever. They call him the general. And he's like, I have to make boards like when I was inside. And he's like, we threw for a while. And I'm like, you probably shouldn't come to this club anymore. That would be advantageous to all of us. But no, seriously, like if somebody goes to prison, I get that. But like obviously AJ Sims can go to prison. Like so he maybe wouldn't.
Well, I know nothing about any of those deals.
No, I don't either.
No, and I don't know specifics either. But
I'm just saying, like that's what I'd be interested in. Like I have no inside knowledge of why that happened or what happened with it. AJ seems like an unbelievable guy to me. The guy who owns TC Bags has always been an awesome guy.
Yeah.
Who makes great bags. So I just think it's interesting, like, because there's a lot of money at stake now. You know what I mean? Like it seems like there is. I'm sure like you break out. I don't know how it works, but like I would assume that I don't know how it works, but like you break out payments into like increments, right? Because you have to have incoming money to do that, right? It's not you're just not giving a guy $1 million up. Nor do they do that in the NBA. In the NBA, you get a check every week. You know what I mean? So, anyways, I just think that's interesting. Like I think like I wonder what happened. You know what I mean? Like I know Sean couldn't even get to the bottom of it. Like that's. I
don't want to get into it. It's just not my place right now.
No, and you like AJ and you like him too.
Correct.
So
you know what I mean?
Like,
Like
you want to dig around.
I burn bridges right now. You know what I mean? It's just not my place to get into it. If they want to disclose what happened publicly, that's fine.
It's not.
I was in agreement with both sides that like I wouldn't publicly go out and say anything. You know what I mean? Like just as a friend, like
I think it's just I think it's more interesting than anything. I just think it's interesting to think of what would make that. You know what I mean? When you have when you have money invested and like you've done that type of stuff, it seems like
one more question, branching off that, Jason, while we have you, what do you like when you sign a player? What do you want out of them? Like, obviously, like your players are, I mean, in quotes, like spoiled, right? They have people managing their social media accounts for the most part, I would assume, right? Because I mean, they have their motivational quotes on Mondays and all that stuff. What do you expect from them? Is it just I don't want anything from you, just go out and win? Is that, or is it like you want to, like, I guess like that's the big question to me. Like, what do you expect? Like when you pick somebody and you want to sponsor them?
Well, I mean, we're only a year old. We're a new company. So I just wanted name recognition. I wanted the Fire brand to be known. And so I went after the best players that I could get. And, they got the name out there. Now they're, these players, they're professionals now, but, they're not. They've got to learn how to do this stuff. And, I preach to them, the guys at the top who learn how to be a professional first, they're the ones that are going to make, more money.
Yeah.
Jamie, you're going to make your money from prize money. The prize pool is increasing every year. You're going to get paid. You're going to get $50, $60, $70, $80,000 a year from the ACL.
But who's going to land that $1 million Nike contract?
Right. So you got to invest in yourself, sell yourself. And that ultimately helps, the Fire. So, some social media presence. You've got a lot of guys that are doing social media, right? But it's not a top 5 player yet. It's not one of the.
And it does matter. It does matter. Like if you've never done anything before, and even if you're really active on social media, you might have followers, but it's not going to translate to sales.
Right.
Because if those bags aren't helping you win, like, and I'm a fucking average player, why the fuck would I buy them to try to help me win? I mean, you had an unbelievable, I guess, as Firewood could, like, rookie season, right? You unroll, you have 4 of the top players in the league. They all go out and ball out. If I'm an average player, I'm just getting into cornhole, and I see it. Like, listen, the first set of bags I ever bought, local bags. Why? Because I saw Hissner and Henderson on there rocking fucking local across their chest. I'm like, well, if it works for them, I guess I should fucking buy that. And that's where that's where you guys are killing the market right now.
Well, and not to fucking wash balls here, right? But like we will for a second. I think that's the thing that local and Fire have had correct is like I think that's the thing. Knowing Jason, knowing Chris, as well as I know both of them. I know Jason a little bit better than I know Chris, but I know Chris pretty well. We drank till 6 in the morning one night. I
had to kick you out of our fucking room. Do you remember that?
Yeah, well,
I had to kick you out of our room at 5 in the morning.
By the way, you want a Patreon special, I still have a video of you guys snoring in your beds, but I won't release that. All right, I'll keep that to myself. But
Yeah, we
anyways,
know you
point
jerk
being
off
that, like,
to it at night. It's fine.
those guys, but listen, everybody on this podcast, and if Chris was on here too, they come from like a working class background. So like that's why I feel like I always like love those brands because like and the bags aren't gouged. Like there's no price gouging going on. Like so it's like if you were getting into the game, you look at Cody Henderson and Hisner, or you look at Brett and Fruit Loops, right? I'm making that stick. You got to say, okay, you go to their website and it's like, oh, $50, $60, $65, whatever for bags. And then you go, oh, you see, you know, no offense, Jay Rubin and Jordan Power, who I love to death, both of them. And then you're like 135. Like if I was just getting into the game, like I'm definitely buying, and I can get the bags like tomorrow versus I got to wait in line at that Ultra, like till they get their Widow Bees out the next time.
The bags that are winning, Fire's the winningest pro bag since we've been on the market.
Since the Pro Advantage.
The winningest pro bag in the ACL Pro division since we've been there.
See?
Well, since you've been there.
Right. We can't.
Yeah, I got you.
Since before we've been there, obviously.
I got you. I'm just saying. Like, yeah.
Oh, we said the most winning bag of all time. I
You
wonder
guys
what
can
that
have
is.
your bag
Yeah.
argument. I'm just
Well, I
wondering
would say-
why Brennan has women's basketball on in the background.
It was the Celtics. You dick. Until he tricked me.
actually
I couldn't
turned
see
him
what was
like-
going on.
Hey,
Sucks.
FYI,
By the way,
FYI,
he sucks.
I'm using my hotspot on my phone and I've got 9%.
All right. Let's
at you.
raffle through it. Whose pick is
All
it?
right.
Jason?
Are you writing it down?
No.
I'm
No.
not writing it down.
I thought you were writing it down.
No, I'm not writing it down.
It's
didn't write down your own
Sean.
picks?
It's Sean.
No, we'll
Are you
just listen
serious?
back. It's recorded.
I've got them written down. It's Sean's pick.
Is it my pick now?
There you go.
All right.
Yeah.
I thought he was writing it down. He has a pen in his hand.
No, I'm not. This is for look. This is for show. You said you're gonna fucking write them down, you
No, I
asshole.
told you I was
All right,
just
so I'm gonna go
spitting
with.
backwards.
So got there. All right, so I have every bracket covered except for. Wait, no, is this my fourth pick? Yeah.
Mhm.
So who do I have? I have Baldwin Renner, Ruben Power.
This is your third pick.
Yeah, this is my third pick. All right.
Yep.
You know, I shit. I just have a feeling that you already took. You know, I'm gonna go bracket D. I think that Holland and Holland. I think the father-son duo here could just. I don't know if they're gonna win, but I think that they're gonna do solid enough where I'm not gonna regret the pick there. So I'm gonna go with Holland and Holland.
And
What kind of hat are you wearing there, Sean?
This is Bangarang Cornhole.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, a little bang bang.
My 16-year-old daughter told me I'm not allowed to wear flat brim hats anymore. She's like, you always wore curved hats.
Every
Don't
time
act
I
like
leave
you're
the house,
20,
my
you're
wife's
not."
like, "Why are you wearing that?" I'm like, "Because I'm fucking awesome."
Yeah, because I'm a fucking G. That's what I tried to tell my daughter. She's
All
like,
right,
"No,
Dane, it's
you're
up
an
to you.
old
Back to
person."
back picks.
No, I already.
No, it's me, it's me.
all that.
Oh, it's on you.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's,
my bad.
yeah, it's me.
Oh,
Yeah.
that would make sense. Gotcha.
There you go.
I got Hunter Moffin, Kaylee and Megan.
Oh, all right.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
They have
Bracket A.
they have someone tough their second match. Who is it? Fuck.
That someone has someone tough too.
Yeah, no, I agree. Is it fuck, who is it?
That's not. Do they have Hicks?
No. It's
Not
this
Hicks and
they're in the
Holland, yeah.
top left bracket. I can see it. I'm just trying to remember who the
Guy
fuck it is.
Graham's in there, Baldwin Renner, Wooten Smith, Tanner, and Easy.
It's Tanner and
Oh,
Easy, right? Don't they have them
Okay.
early? Yeah.
I'm not looking at the bracket, but I'm seeing the top players in there.
Yeah, I think it's Tanner and Easy. They might have that second round. Okay. All right, Brian, it's back to you. Back to back picks.
All right, I got first of all, hometown pick all day, but I'm not even picking it for my hometown guy. I love him. I put him on the map with Jason outside of Game Changers one day on a live video. Didn't know who the fuck this kid was. Jason Trzynski and
God damn
Storm
it. I knew
Hogg.
I should have taken
Storm
him last
Hogg.
time.
Storm
That's a good
Hogg
pick.
is a
Dude,
fucking.
I'm telling you what, they're gonna make a
beef.
run. They
They're
have
on my
such a good
list.
they have such a good
Good
fucking
pick.
draw. They're the best
Yep.
team in that subsection. I think that's a great pick. I really do. If you're not familiar with it, you need to look at it because I don't know how they're going to do singles wise, but as a doubles team, yeah, familiarize yourself with Hogg and Trzynski. I mean, I think that was the pick I was going to take before this, and I went with Hogg.
Jacob's tough as nails. That kid
Yep.
plays. He's such a competitor. I
Yep.
watched him beat Berkeley pair in Albany, and Berkeley's lights out. And like he's a tough player.
Yeah,
So
no,
give
I
me
love
that,
the pick.
and then give me and then I'm gonna take Hisner Henderson. I'm gonna steal the local bags pick right from
There you
under
go.
you.
There you go.
I dig it.
Even though they're playing one of the teams that I picked, which is Clemmer and Jones, which is a dumb move, but whatever.
Let's see. I'll go Foreman Creek Killer.
Good pick.
Who?
Good pick there.
Foreman Creek Killer.
Young guns that are going to surprise some people. Creek Killer's just, I mean, that kid.
I haven't heard about them in my retirement full of Viagra and fucking Florida golf trips. I haven't heard about these gentlemen. You know,
All right, I'm trying to decide
picks
between two
left.
teams here.
Sean, come on. Jason's battery is dwindling.
It's fine. If we lose it, it's no big deal.
We're 5%.
Jason's battery.
Sorry.
5%.
You know what? I'm going to go with the team that I don't think a lot of people would expect, but they were a top 15 team last year. I think that they're set up really nicely in their draw. Dylan Turpin and Ricky G.
Is it G or Gee?
Gee, whatever. It's Gonzalez. So it's Ricky G, you asshole.
Where the fuck this kid's name is? It's like the end of the fantasy football draft. Where it's like, who? What's that guy do? Work?
Husamadilla? Housamadilla.
Huh? What?
Husamanzala?
Who's with that?
All right, I'll close it out. I got to finish up in I'm gonna finish up in bracket C and go with a homer pick. Two guys that are throwing lights out right now. Give me Kevin Allen and Jeff Reynolds.
Ooh. All right.
Nice.
I'm just seeing a different Jeff Reynolds than I have in the past, and he is, man.
They're in the same section
like a free,
as
like a big
Winter
time
Herrera?
spender.
Yeah.
Like Jeff Reynolds, the big time spender, different one
Yeah.
than you've seen in the past. Like throwing money around at strip clubs left and right.
Dude. He's so funny, man. It's so fun. It's
I
great.
love that guy, dude. I
Dude,
love
he's
him.
finally
I
so
love
like
the
now
play.
he's like more comfortable around us, so like he'll actually come out and talk to us and stuff afterwards. But he's a funny dude. All right, so since
have a picture of
Jason's
me and
phone
him
is
on.
dying, we're gonna go to
Yep.
women's doubles.
I get first pick, right?
You get first pick,
All right, give me Cameron Belvin, whoever she is.
Isabella. So you got
Isabella.
Bella and Belvin.
Perfect.
Okay.
There we go.
Kaylee and Megan.
Are you pretty impressed with Moppin? I mean, I think that's a great pick.
Very.
Yeah,
Very.
She's
She,
insanely good.
You know, I've seen her. I've never seen her in person until this
Dude,
year.
she's so
when she
good. I
started-
mean, she's a
Yeah.
solid player.
She
so.
is. I like the airmail a lot, but she is aggressive. I mean, she's
and
going.
I don't mean this. I love their fit together because they both throw like dudes. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah,
they both
yeah,
throw like
Kaylee's a
hard,
hard
mean
thrower.
bags. Yeah. Like I'm gonna go with. I mean, since you guys are giving me the gimme, I'm going Renner and Cassidy. I mean, thank you very much for the win.
Thought,
And
I
I'll
thought
just-
they were gonna
Oh,
follow
no.
me.
Capitalize that and thank you.
And I'll just round it out with the other top women's team. I'm gonna go with Finley and Streaker.
Okay. Yep. Awesome. Well, Jason, if you have to run because your phone's gonna die,
Yeah.
we'll let you go because you're also at poker night, and I still don't understand how you're married. But we'll go with the elephant.
Rachel's working tonight. Rachel's
the
at
elephant in
dance.
the
She's
room.
working.
Oh,
All right.
there you go. But Brent, if you're willing to hang on for a few minutes, we'll
Yeah,
chop
yeah,
it up.
yeah.
Yeah, I
I
appreciate
get
it,
it.
fellas.
Jason,
Thanks
thank you
for
very
having
much.
me. See you later,
and,
brother.
we'll let you know
Peace.
how. Hey, dude, since you actually wrote down, just when you get a chance,
I'll get it to you.
yeah, send me those pics.
will.
Appreciate you.
Make them listen back to it.
Fuck you.
All right.
Yeah, I got no idea who I
Someone's got
picked.
to edit
so-
this shit.
Hey, we'll see you in Kansas City.
All right, later.
All right,
And
bud.
we don't
All right,
edit
brother.
shit,
Peace.
Jason, by the way. No editing.
Yeah, especially. All right, so now that Jason's gone, we can talk shit about him.
Yeah, exactly.
So all right, so let me ask you. So now that we have you on by yourself, right? Let's get down and dirty here. So you decided Dane's gonna pour me another drink
Yeah,
here.
we're gonna
I mean, what are we doing
I
here?
got
We
some
gonna
fucking
drink
time.
or we
It's a
drink?
Tuesday
Like,
night.
I mean,
All right, so
it's Tuesday. We're drinking.
one of the favorite. So obviously we're in like this chat, right? With it's me, Dane, Pat, Donnie, Jimmy Sear. Like it's pretty. We've joked about it before. We could sell that chat for like $1 million. People would probably fucking buy it. You decided to step away from doing the podcast. So first of all, how are you enjoying like the extra free time? Because
You don't wanna know how I enjoy it.
we've talked about it on the show, but like I don't think people realize how much time goes into doing stuff like that. So
Yeah.
talk to us a little bit about
So-
like why did you decide ultimately to step away?
Yeah. So, I mean, what I said on the last show is pretty much accurate, but like, it was probably less about my work than it was about like this job. This people don't understand, especially like, I don't know. Everybody's different, right? This is the way I am. I'm not a person who puts their toe in the pool. I'm a type of person
You're
who
all
does a
in.
backflip
Yeah,
in.
correct.
I'm all in. I'm not like a half in person. I can't be. And if I am, like, you're not getting the best out of me. So when it was going great. And it was starting to get more momentum, I feel like, as we went to Rock Hill.
Yeah.
We all went to Rock Hill together. And like a lot of cool stuff was happening, but like as that stuff started happening, more stuff started, like I started realizing that like more stuff was being sacrificed because of it. And I'm not even talking about like, family shit, like, cause that is one thing, but like, how it is. Like, it's like, and like I would be like, no, I can't go to this golf trip with my buddies because I have to go to Rock Hill. You know what I mean? Or I'm going to go to Albany. And that's awesome. I think if there's like, if I was even 10 years younger, if I was even your guys' age, like, where it was like, okay, like whatever, I'm 43, I'll go on that fucking trip, or I'm 44. But I just started feeling like, I wasn't into it. And like, if I'm not into it, it's funny, there's a Freudian slip. So I had to go back through, remember we did the Danny Gillis fundraiser for the guy from here. So I went through, right. And it was like, and I hadn't decided anything. I hadn't even thought about ending the show. And I said on the thing, I'm like, we're going to announce it on our last show. I mean, our 100th show. So maybe it was a Freudian slip, but I don't know. I just felt like we went to Asheville and we had fun. And then like, I was like, man, like, I just felt like in times past, I've been like, I need a break. Like I need like a month off, or like, I think it's important
for people to know.
But, like, I also felt like
it wasn't like a spur of the moment thing. Like me and you talk pretty regularly. This is something that you had been like,
okay, so let's rewind the
contemplating
tape.
for a
So a year ago, this exact date that this happened, I called you.
correct.
I called Sean and I said, I'm ending the show. I said, we want to be a sponsor of Doghouse will be a sponsor of BigAsp. And I'm like, I feel like, I don't know, I'm just burnt out, whatever. And then I kind of got over it. Actually, my wife, for everybody out there who might think like, oh, his wife must have gone. Maggie was the one who talked me out of that at that time. Yeah. She's like, you got a good thing going. People like this, whatever. But yeah, I just felt like I don't know, like I've said this before, and it's hard to understand, but like I do a lot of other shit that like takes time too. You know what I mean? Like I play music, all this other shit, and it's like you feel like you start feeling like this is taking so much time that like it's becoming like kind of like not working out for my life. You know what I mean? For like what I want to do right now. Like I had a blast doing it. And when I finished it, I'm like, maybe we'll come back. And now I'm like, dude, I'm really enjoying this. like, dude, I have so much time. Like, I feel like on Sundays and like, and it's like, and I can also like, can pay attention to shit like in cornhole. Like and I can play cornhole on Thursday nights and not feel like, oh, well, I got to do Sunday night. And I'm like, and also like, you start feeling like, I'm sure you guys get this. Like, this is not being like a conceited person. Like you go to events like locally and you start to feel like you're there to like glad hand and like talk to people. Yeah. Not even that. Like you just got to go like, you got to talk to everybody.
You get the glad hand with everyone, or someone's going to get offended kind of thing.
Yeah. And people, and then like, little things that piss me off, if I'm being completely honest, and you guys get this, like, I'm not going to say who it was, but like recently, this week, somebody reached out to me like, you have to come out to my birthday party. And like, you got to come out to it. And like, dude, you have to be there. And I'm ready to come on your show. And I'm like, oh, you need me there so bad. You have no idea the show's not even on anymore. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like that's like, I think a lot of people, all right, let's put this. People need Sean and Dane more than Dane and Sean need these people, but people take advantage of that, I think.
Yeah.
And in ways, you know what I mean? They're late for the show, or they are not on time for it, or they reschedule on you at the last minute. It's like, dude, we're doing this shit for free. You know what I mean? Like basically, I mean, you guys starting to make a little bit of money now, which is great. I hope you guys continue to make money and do awesome at it, because you guys do a better job. I started to feel too, like, here's the difference too. I felt like our show was becoming, which I liked, was more conversational and like free flowing and like less about cornhole.
Yours was like a variety, like a cornhole variety show, or a variety show.
Yeah,
with,
but like
with cornhole. I mean, listen, I loved it just because it was like in my rotation.
Yeah, and I'm a fan of you guys. So
I knew Mondays I got to throw on the Dogcast and just, if I heard cornhole stuff, awesome. If not, I didn't give a shit. Like I just wanted to, because I think when people are fans of your show, like they feel like they know you. You know what I mean? Like they feel like, I mean, it is funny if you go back and listen to your guys' first episode and then to the end. I mean, it's so night and day. It's crazy, man. It's funny.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, so I mean, like I felt like I didn't want to like, and I also didn't want to, like I said, like I felt like to the point of going back to the point of like being the type of person who jumps in the pool, like this is a backflip, right? I started to want to do so much to feel like I needed to do it right. I felt like I needed to do so much travel. And like, I just was like, this travel is going to come at the expense of all this other shit I have to do. And I just did feel like it's very different when your kids are 4, whatever, Sean, what are your kids, 4 and 2 or whatever they are, right?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. Same idea. They don't know. They're not going to fucking remember anything. Doesn't matter. Like if you're, dude, you can be gone for 4 years, come back to 7, they wouldn't remember. So my point being that like now my kids are really in that mode of like where they are remembering shit. And obviously my daughter's like she's a sophomore in high school. My son's in middle school. And like, I just was like, I don't know. I got we had a good time. It was awesome. The videos, like I can still do the cornhole videos every once in a while.
I mean, you guys are still fucking trailblazers though. I mean, how many, we joke about it all the time. Like every fucking week there's a new cornhole podcast dropping up.
Yeah. And by the way, all those people email me and they're like, can you listen? Or they used to. That's the best thing. By the way, the best thing is the only people that message me anymore are the people I like who like really were into the show. And then I like messaging with them because they're cool.
Yeah. Of course.
Like it would be like every week you would just get a lot of messages that like, and for me it's hard to explain, but it's like, it's like I would indulge and like that's not their problem. That's my problem. Like I'm just one of those people, but I had to realize this isn't my full-time job. Like, you know what I mean? Like, dude, you know how it is. It's consuming.
Dude, I had to make a conscious effort after a year in. My wife and I had like a heart to heart. She's like, this is starting to take over. Like, and she's like, and I stepped away from coaching, of which I was I was at a very successful program. I was traveling the world, every year. It brought great opportunities for us. I thought I was going to be like the next college coach kind of thing. I thought that was where my career was going. I stepped away because, we had 2 kids, we needed help at home. And then I started this podcast thing and she's like, I thought cornhole was going to be like a hobby to get you out of the house like once a month. And then you always do this. Like when you can't just do anything a little bit. And she's like, that's part of why I love you. But she's like, you have to go balls deep in everything. And that's how I am. Like, I can't go just, it's same with you. You can't just dip your toe in.
Both very similar.
Like I have to go all in.
Yeah.
If I'm either all in or I'm fucking all out. And that's right now, like, we're at this point where I'm all in, but I also had to take a conscious effort where I felt like the first year I was on my phone constantly. My kids were trying to play with me. I was trying to respond to people's messages. So I had to make a conscious effort now where when I get home from work, I don't do anything until they're in bed. Like, that's why people are like, oh, I want you to come on a show. Like I will go to whatever tournament you want, but if it doesn't start until after 7:30, I'm out. Like I had to do that for my family. And I just don't think people realize we love doing it, right? Like it was fun. It's fun doing it, like talking to interesting people and shit.
Of course, this part of it's fun. This part that we're doing right now,
the best thing ever. Awesome. I get to hang out with him on Tuesday nights and drink and shit. It's
exactly.
Great. But how much work leads up into it? Like when I'm taking like time away from work and like updating stuff. Like I had to message him today. I'm like, I have a fucking meeting at 12. People are gonna expect me to update these brackets, and I'm like having a panic attack inside because I'm like, I don't feel like dealing with all the backlash and messages I'm gonna get because Reynolds lost because Black Sheep Baggers came back and beat him and voted him because I didn't end the fucking voting at 12 or soming. You know what I mean? It's like all that stupid shit like that. Like
it's all right. People on my Zoom call, my video turned off all of a sudden. It's all right. I answered it for them. I'll let you guys in on a little insight for myself. I'm the only 32-year-old I know that when I get home, my fucking phone goes on its charger and I don't fucking look at it.
It's true.
I get home.
Dane, you are unbelievable because I text you and you do not get back to me. Dude, I don't know if that's because you don't like me or because
I hate that this world is turning into everyone's attached to technology. And I kind of pride myself on the fact that I mean, dude, I still get a newspaper. And I'm 32 years old.
Dude, I
read a newspaper.
I love that.
No,
I love that.
I
think that like
to me, it's like I like to, I don't know, I stay in my own world, and I mean, I love the podcast, but I'm different than you guys. That like, if we would ever drop it, like, I don't know, I'd move on. Just
like I don't think like I'll be giving like Donnie's got his own thing that he's. By the way, if you're not subscribed to the Voice of Cornhole on YouTube, go do it. Donnie's continue to do it. But like I don't think Pat really cared. Like either way, like Pat was like, yeah, it's cool. Like he was kind of like Dane. It was like, yeah, if we do it, okay. If we don't, fine. But like the difference is that like I was doing it.
To me, honestly, when you guys said you were gonna end it, I was most sad because I'm like, I hope like our group chat doesn't go away, but it hasn't missed a beat.
No, it hasn't.
I mean, like we still fucking. So like to me, like I don't give a shit.
Dude,
like,
I woke up this morning to 99 missed texts. in that thread.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
like
exactly.
nobody chimed in on my one joke, and I was very sad about it because it was timed perfectly. And that's when I put the phone down and went to bed.
Well, I mean, look, I think like ultimately, like too, I think like, like we went out, a couple of weeks ago, me and Maggie went out with friends, and then Charlie Joyner was the other guy, who's the dog father that I mentioned earlier. And he's like, dude, you look so fucking relaxed and like you're having a great time. It was like a Friday night. And I'm like, yeah. And Maggie's like, I think like she sees that I'm more like, it's hard to explain to somebody that like, cause you can listen to the Dogcast or whatever and just be like, yeah, dude, well, how hard is it? Just do it once a week and set it up in advance. It's like, yeah, I get that. But like, that's not how my brain works. My brain works like manically. So like, if I'm in and like Sean's actually way better for everybody at home about like being organized with shit. Like I'm not organized. So like I have to work harder than he does to like get shit organized. And then I'm like, did I plan this? Did I do this? And then the editing and then like the posting and I don't know. It gets old. So the point being, like, I thought, like, honestly, when I quit it, Maggie was like, when we retired it, Maggie was like, so it's only like a month ago or 3 weeks ago, but she was like, you'll definitely go back. You'll definitely like, I could definitely see myself doing something else podcast related, but not in the cornhole world. Because I just think like cornhole is like so encompassing and like, I don't know, then you have to keep up with everything too. And like, you have to know what's going on. You got to be texting with the pros and like, which I'm glad for. By the way, I'm so grateful that I have relationships with people like McCannon, like whatever, like we're friends with these guys, but at the same time, like the people at home have to realize, I think like we're not really getting paid to do this shit. So it's like, for example, for the Patreon for you guys, like, that's like, if you're at home listening to this, I'm just saying this from a guy who is retired now, by the way, so I can say whatever I want.
And
if you're at home
Patreon
listening to this, you listen to the Ask and I'm a Patreon member, $10 a month. And you're at home and you listen to this all the time, throw these guys $10 a month. It's not a lot of money. And you got a way better chance that this show's going to keep going than what would have happened if it doesn't. You know what I mean? Because that's the thing that honestly, like, if you could show your wife a little bit of money, like that's a nice thing.
Hey, listen, my wife asked me the other day, like, she's like, well, what would, if you could do this full time, would you? And I said, without a doubt, yeah. Like I think I would love, like, this would make me happy doing this full time. Will I ever get to that point? I don't think so. I really don't think like the sport's ever going to get to that big.
We don't know.
I don't know. Like I would love to be able to do this full time. Like I would love to be able to put out an episode every fucking week. But when it comes down to it, I also went to school for 7 years. I have my doctorate in physical therapy. Like that's what pays the bills. Like, so I still needed to put priority in that. And I was fortunate enough where I was overseeing, a bunch of I had a really big staff before COVID when we first started, and then it all happened. We got really slow. So I was able to put everything into it because we were so slow at work. I could put everything into this as like a kickstart. I never expected to do any. We still joke.
Dude, I can't believe
we started this as
5,000 followers and
listen,
shit. Like,
we started this, and I don't mean this as a negative way because like I don't want people to think we started this as a fucking joke. Like we literally, this was a practice podcast for me to start something in the physical therapy world where I thought I was going to start my own practice. But like, listen, I wanted something to practice with. And then the first month we had 1,000 people listen. We're like, well, all right, well, let's just keep this going and see where it goes. And the next thing we know, you guys shout us out and we're blowing up, and then we're going back and forth, and ACL's reaching out to us and makes us some fucking pennies on the dollar fucking bullshit offer. And
what a deal they made us, by the way.
Listen, I mean, I might as well listen. Apparently we're on our blacklist anyway.
They don't
so
listen to this shit. So it doesn't
matter. It don't matter anyways.
Yeah.
It don't matter. But and like to your point too, like I look at like it was the other night, I think it was Thursday night. We played so we have our Doghouse Cornhole night at Doghouse, whatever, like our regular Thursday night gig. And it was me, Donnie, and Pat. We did a 3. How do we do it? Oh, it was a 3-on-3 crew cup. So like one guy was throwing constantly, and then the other two exchanged. So like we had to spin the bags for it. It was me, Pat, and Donnie got matched up for the team, and it was hilarious. And like we beat them handily the first game. Then we were like, we'll play 2 out of 3 for a beer. And then we lost. And then Pat yelled at me and Donnie. So nothing's changed, by the way. You're just not seeing it. So like everything that you heard before is real. It's still happening. And I just like, dude, honestly, like it's brought the joy back to playing for me. Like,
well, that's I'm not honestly the worst thing that you ever. The worst thing for this show that ever happened was you stopping, and now I get to see you play all the time and having fun. because I miss playing. Like I don't play anymore in a league because we do this. And like I can't justify taking 2 nights away from the family, if I'm still doing this. So every once in a while, we're fortunate enough now that we'll make a little money if we go to Cleveland Cornhole, we'll commentate and stuff like that. So I can justify being away from the family doing that. But like,
Sure.
I miss the weekly league stuff, like that interaction when I get to go fill in for somebody. I think that's why my wife lets me go do it like once a month or whenever somebody needs it, because she knows like I need to get the fuck out of the house. Like Sunday, I like basically took my son. I'm like, we're leaving. Like you can't say no. I'm gonna throw you in a car. We're just gonna go drive because I need to get the fuck out of the house. Like I can't do this anymore. And that's what Tuesday night is my escape and being able to do this and meeting cool people. It's a cool opportunity, but I just want people to understand that like you didn't just like walk away because you didn't like doing it. It's a lot of fucking work. You guys were like the OGs doing it, and like your kids are at that age where like you said, you're gonna make an impression on them now. Am I gonna make it that big of an impression on my kids when they're 4 and 2? No. But when they get a little bit older, am I gonna keep doing this? No. If we're gonna be completely honest, I'm probably gonna step away from this. I'm gonna go back to coaching when my kids are old enough to go and I can take them to practice and not worrying about somebody snatching them. I mean that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had offers every single year to go back and coach. We started this podcast and I got an offer at head coaching position. And I told him like we're 6 months in. And he was going to be my assistant head coach. Do we take it? But then COVID hit. I'm like, well, no, we're out of it. But I mean, I'm probably going to walk away from this eventually.
So, like,
go back to coaching.
Someday
it's something
we'll
I'm really
find,
good
a
at.
Collegiate program to coach. And
Eventually, but we'll see.
But
I mean,
dude,
I'm just going to enjoy the ride, man. And listen, like you said, like I appreciate you promote. It's so hard to promote the Patreon without sounding like begging. You know what I mean?
No,
and like
fuck that,
I never
dude.
wanted
It
to
is
come
what it
like
is.
I never wanted to sound like begging, but like we try to put up some content on there. Like
Dude,
all right, we didn't mention it. We didn't mention it on this episode yet. All right. So if you're hanging on with us this long, I feel like you deserve a little nugget of knowledge. If you haven't heard yet, there's a very good chance that Greg Geary will not be participating in the first national event. He was arrested yesterday, which was February 7th, for
not proven guilty, but
he was not proven guilty.
But
But what the charges said on the county correction facility or whatever, basically said that he was.
Don't even say it. It was a felony.
It was a felony charge.
You can look it up.
You can look it up yourself. But
Yeah.
Greg, there's a
Busted
good chance that
coverage
Greg
is
Geary's
the
not going to be
website.
doing
Busted
it. So
coverage.
there's your little nugget of truth. But that kind of stuff, that insider stuff, we drop on the Patreon.
But the beauty of America, you're innocent until proven guilty.
100%.
So let's see what happens
Exactly.
with that. But
Yeah.
I'm
And that's what
honestly,
people reached out to me today saying like, hey, I'm giving you this info. When are you going to do a write up? I'm not writing up shit, and because I've met Greg Geary, nice enough guy. I don't want to throw anyone under the bus before I know everything, before he's charged for anything.
It's an informed decision.
Yeah,
to
for sure.
write
I
something.
think also like
there's
going
your
back
nugget
to
of
like
truth.
going back to like the thing about like what I think here it's like anything. It's like my boss. I used to have this boss. Used to have this thing that like I don't know why it always resonated with me. He's like, he's like as we talk about like we place people for work and like so you ask, would you go on an interview and the guy will be like, yeah, I would, and then you call him that day and he's like, yeah, I can't do it that day. It's like when you're like, oh, I'd love to go to a Red Sox game or I'd love to go to a Cavs game. And then somebody's like, I got tickets for tonight. And you're like, well, I can't do it tonight. It's like, well, it's like when you're talking about the podcast and all this stuff, it's like we do love doing these things, right? It's like hard drag push. Like I had so many plans and thoughts for that. Like, but it's like, dude, the execution mixed with like you were doing the podcast and now you're doing like you do the podcast. You're also doing fucking your regular job, which is 40 to 50 hours a week. You got your kids, you're coaching shit for your kids. And then you're like trying to squeeze that in on a weekend when you're doing it and like doing videos and stuff. And it's like, just because, I don't know, like I thought about this, like just because you're good at it, right, doesn't mean you always need to do it. You know what I mean? Like I know
that's a perfect example. Literally, my wife, my kids were in bed. Kids were in bed last night. I finished the dishes, did all the honey-do list or whatever. She puts my dog to bed. She comes downstairs and she's actually being nice to me. And I bust out my computer and I'm working on an article. And she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to finish this article so I can post up on the website. Meanwhile, mind you, she has not talked. She is studying for this test. She's trying to get her cardiac and pulmonary specialist. She's not talked to me basically in like 4 months. Basically, she puts the kids to bed. She goes to study. When she comes down and starts trying to talk to me, and I'm like now, like I'm like, and I realized I probably bit off more than I could chew trying to start this website. I envisioned of us starting all this stuff, and people would message us like, "Why aren't you guys putting up content?" Listen,
people reached out to people to send us stuff.
They have, and that's
Yeah.
and that's the other thing is that people have sent us content. They're like, "Hey, I sent you the stuff, you haven't posted it." Like, you don't understand, when you send me stuff, that is 30 minutes minimum that I have to take out of my day to read it, then post it, and then get all the pictures and put it out. And Brendan, you posted stuff before. It's easy, but it's time consuming.
Yeah, it's
You know what I mean?
Of
So
course it
like,
is, yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
If the days were 48 hours long, I'd be good. Like, I'd be golden. I could handle everything.
Sure.
But
Same.
I just don't have enough time, and where I'm at in my profession, like I just don't have enough time to fit into my day right now. So I'm trying to pump out as much as I can. I still envision Hard Direct Push being our dream job was it to be bought out by Barstool, right? Be the cornhole section of Barstool. I still think it could possibly be there. But
yeah,
it can't happen when only like 2 or 3 people are putting in all the work, when there was supposed to be like a small army of what we envisioned to do it. And that's
and like not every like I did that, like just whatever. This is just like we're now just bullshitting, but like,
yeah,
you know, I did this video when we were in Rock Hill that I like edited the whole thing, put music to it. It was a cool video. It was just like an oversight, awesome. And like I'm sure people watched it and thought it was cool, but there wasn't a lot of people who watched it. And I'm like, you know, you just get to that point where you start feeling like, all right, how many of these fucking videos do I have to make to get more than 60 people to watch this thing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or whatever. And that takes a lot of time. And, you know, the artistic part of it is what I love. Like, I love this, what we're doing right now. I love like talking about shit, shooting shit. I love putting up videos, doing that stuff. But like the minutia of it, and actually the promotion of it and stuff is the worst part. Like, that's like if we had any type of budget, that would have been the thing that I would have been like, hey, dude, you post all this shit on every cornhole site, edit the fucking thing at the end of the day, be done with it. Like, that would have been great. But, you know, too, it's like, whatever. I don't know where you go with your mind. Like, you know, like I've honestly been like the last like month, I've been like so relaxed. Like, I've been like, it's fucking awesome.
Stop
like in a way,
things,
like, it's like,
Sean,
I don't know. It's like relaxing to me.
every
Like,
time you say it.
Dude, it's just tough. I mean, like,
well,
I
just
had,
no. It's different.
listen, I had 2 just being completely honest, I had 2 assistants quit in the last month. I've been at work.
Yeah.
I've been trying to doing interviews, hire somebody, train them while trying to do my full-time job and the podcast and do these write-ups with the First National coming up. So like, I feel like my wife was nice to me last night because she saw like my face when I came home from work. Like, and like, even my daughter's made like a comment saying, she's like, hey, we made you like these cookies. Cause like, you know, thank you for like working so hard to like, you know, make money for us and stuff. And I'm like, I'm happy that people like that they're recognizing that like I'm right there, like I'm about to lose my shit. You know what I mean? But like at the same time, like I feel like this is gonna be worth it. And I keep telling my wife, like, we're so close. Like I feel like if we just hang on, like maybe one day I could actually do this full time. And that's why I keep hanging on to that hope. But
I think like nothing. If I'm being completely honest with the people at home, and if you're still listening, congratulations, you get a silver medal.
Hey, we're not even close to the like 2-hour mark that we've reached before.
Yeah, you're good.
All right, perfect. No, I used to be like, I used to think to myself, like, I'll be honest, I think Sean's the same way. Like, I'm just wicked competitive. So I would be like, I don't want to get beat. You know what I mean? Like, I only looked at you guys as competition. That was the only people that, like, we had like, obviously we have a good relationship. Like we would text all the time. We'd be on the phone all the time, me and Sean. So like, but at the same time, I'd be like, if you got a guest, I'd be like, fuck, like he beat me to that fucking shit. Like, and I respect it.
This started so early with the Mac guy. I mean, it started there.
It started from the beginning. It drives you to be better, right? Yeah. That's what you want. You want Coke and Pepsi. Like, that's what you need, right? But like, I feel like at some point, like for me, like I was just like, oh, like I don't want to do that anymore, really. And like at the time, like maybe even like 4 or 5 months ago, like I'd be like, if I had heard you guys got, like, I'm being dead honest. If I heard you guys got like an ESPN deal, like I would have been like, fuck. Although I would have been confident in the fact that you would have somehow dragged me along as like a commentator. But now I'm like, now nothing would make me or fill me with more happiness. Like, than if like it was announced that like you guys were going to be like the official ESPN show. Like that would be fucking, because you know what, dude, it takes a lot of work. Like I'm not up for that work right now anymore. Like, and you guys are still doing it. Like, that is fucking awesome. Like, and it should be rewarded. Like, it should be, because there's a lot of fucking work, and it, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like that thing should be fucking rewarded. That's my
like
opinion.
you said it perfectly. We're competitive. I was always happy whenever you guys were doing well. Like, and because me and you would message, like, you know, like we talk about numbers, and because we'd always want to know, like, where your numbers at? Like, are we comparable? Like, are we getting the same target audience? Like, and me and you would talk quite like, listen, if I had this guest book, it didn't make any sense for us to book the same guest
Sure.
anywhere close to each other because we pretty much had a pretty similar audience listening to both shows.
Yeah, we coordinate.
communicate on
We
that stuff,
try to
but
coordinate. Yeah.
I think that's human nature, though. You know, I mean, we're all competitive.
Of course
It would be the
is.
same fucking
Of course
thing.
it is.
Listen, like when I found out that you guys got offered from the ACL stuff first, that Trey reached out to you first, and that was early on when we first started. I'm like, well, what the fuck, man? Like, what are we? And then all of a sudden, I get the message too. I'm like, all right, we're good. We're
Yeah,
good.
then
Now we're
then
all in.
listen to the
Yeah.
deal.
All right, so
Yeah,
if we're honest, was that not the best idea we ever?
All right, let's
is
tell-
that,
let's-
is that
let's
not
tell-
the best
well-
decision we ever made?
For me, I think it absolutely was the best decision we ever made.
Yeah.
I agree.
So do you want to? Should we just tell the story? It's not.
Yeah,
we're not
listen,
under an
guys.
NDA.
I
we're,
gotta go
we're,
take-
listen,
All
like
right,
you
so
said, we've
let's
been
do
here
it.
this long. Let's
If
go ahead
you-
and shoot it out.
All right, if you waited this long, you're gonna get all the nuggets. All right, so right before COVID, right? So say like around January, I think this is how
Yeah,
it
I
went
think
down.
we were like 6 months in, maybe.
Yeah, so like Trey reached out to Trey, been on our show a few times, and by the way, love Trey, great guy.
Yeah, he's a great, yeah, nothing bad about Trey.
Yeah. So he reached out to us and was like, "Hey, what would you think about kind of becoming like the official podcast of the ACL, like their own thing?" Now, I was like super excited at first, right? I remember being super
Yeah,
excited.
of course.
And
Listen, if
went
like,
down
your
to-
ego gets, you get fluffed
yeah,
up. a
and I
little
might
bit.
not. By the way, you might have to fill in blanks because I don't always remember this probably things correctly. So then I went down to my wife. My wife was like, "That's a fucking horrible idea for you." Like we had not talked terms, money, anything, right? She's like, "Horrible idea for you." I'm like, "Why?" She's like, "Because you don't like listening to anybody. That's how you are. That's why you have your own company. That's why you do your thing. That's why you do the way you are. You can't be fucking told what to do. Like, and if you do, you get wicked mad at people, and then you get to be a loser." So I'm like, "All right, fair point." Maggie does know me very well. And then we went out to Cleveland, right?
Yeah.
That didn't happen before Cleveland, did it? No, it
That
didn't.
was
happen before
when
Cleveland.
COVID was like fucking official.
Okay, so then they reached out to you guys too,
Yeah, they
Because we, like, put 'em
right
on ice
after
a
all
little
that
bit.
stuff. Yeah,
and then you called me and you're like, they reached out to us. Do they want a package deal? Like both podcasts.
Yeah.
They want us both together, and we had a conversation with Trey. and
they
as I
like the
remember
idea
it,
that
like,
we
it was a
had
big conversation,
banter
and I was
going
like,
back
"Here
and
are my-"
forth. You know what I mean? Like that
Yes.
we were a little different
we used bust
stylistically. You know
balls
what I mean? Like
and-
that. Yeah, they like the fact that we could play it off each
Yep.
other. Yeah, so I want to
Of
say it
course
was
they did, 'cause
so
we were
that was
fucking
when
awesome. So
when
what would you
that was
like?
probably what, like February, March. Like I don't.
Yeah,
it was
something
March.
like
It was
that.
March.
We were going
And-
to talk about it. We were supposed to meet up in Cleveland to talk about it.
Correct.
Yeah.
That was when we were supposed to meet Trey and talk about it. So instead, we just got together, got shit faced out of our minds during the end of the world, and fucking
Still the
Dane
greatest blind draw.
fed me
in the
fucking
history of
Oh,
IPAs.
dude,
Dogcast.
that was so much
yeah,
fun. Goddamn.
unbelievable.
Dude, I still
Greatest
can't believe I
blind-
took
end of the-
second in that
end of the
shit.
world blind draw.
We got fucking Trey Birchfield.
I,
So-
I understand, but Sean, Trey's back was hurting.
Wait, did
all right?
Lefty and Jake Childs win it? Did
No,
Lefty
no,
and
no,
Jake
it was
Childs
some,
win
It
it?
was,
random- I have
it
no
was,
idea.
It was a pro from Cali that we faced off
I
in the
fucking
championship
don't
and somebody
remember.
else. But
So
But
anyway,
I've
so finally
seen
we got
5
back, and then
holes.
we had another conversation to be had. Then I talked to Sean and Dane, and like Pat and Donnie were chiefly involved too, but just like we couldn't all be on a party line for crazy. It was 1992, so we just decided that like we needed to be able to talk about everything that we want to talk about. So if like at the time people are going to listen to this now and be like, ACO, who gives a fuck? Like at that time, ACO was like rivaling them, like for like.
Well,
they
you
still
guys
had Matt
also
Guy.
were big in the TCL. You'd had Chad Jacobson on.
Yeah, we had TCL on. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I want to be able to like you can talk about whatever you want, but like whatever. Like I
that
just
was
had a
before,
good.
like,
I had a
the
hard
guys
feeling,
moved
and
over.
yeah, and this is before all that stuff happened.
Yeah.
And I really liked when I met Stacey Moore. I really liked Stacey Moore as a person, but like I just had a feeling. I still have this feeling. I think he's like I didn't want to be censored. I didn't want to feel like I could be censored. I didn't want to be like I didn't want to feel like I had to do this week or you got to have this guy on this week. I just whatever. So, but I was like, ooh, well, if we got a bunch of money, you could probably change my mind.
I mean, let's be
So the
honest.
offer
If they would
was-
have sit there and been like, "We'll give you $1,000 an episode," done.
Yeah.
Honestly, at that point, I would
Done.
be like, "Sign me up." But they offered. Let's be honest.
I've
Like,
been
if
coming
we're
on
being
5
trans-
episodes a
they
week.
offered us $200, and I don't think they liked when they said, "We're offering you 200," and I laughed. like in the middle of the fucking interview. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, and I told him like, break it down. Like, do you know how many hours I break into one episode? So I'm like, you're basically offering us like $2 an hour to work from you. I'm like, that's not even fucking minimum wage. I mean, now
Yeah.
obviously
And
that was
for the
ACL.
record- for the
That was
record,
ACL
my-
before what they are now, right? So that was before
Sure.
they had the headquarters and before they really broke open. So obviously, I think the situation is different. They were looking for a marketing platform. We were what was available to them at the time. So
Yep.
maybe market value was fair, but I think it was the best decision at the time for
Hey,
us to
listen,
stay
maybe,
independent.
yeah, I think it was too. Maybe we would be, and here's the other thing too. Like and this is to my wife's credit. I am the type of person, and I just have to be honest with everybody. Like, I'm the type of person that will be doing something, and I'll be so fucking into it, and I'll be so up your ass about it, and then I'll be like, yeah, I don't want to do that anymore. And then you're like, what the fuck? Like, I know that's my biggest personality flaw. I know it is. Like, I hate myself for it. Like, it's like, because if I was my guy that I was counting on, I'd be like, fuck you, dude. You just got me all pumped about this thing, and now you tell me to fuck. Like, we signed 2 players, Latham and Dana Zach, like 2 weeks before I decided to fuck the show. Like, that's how I am. I'm just like, when I'm done, I'm done. And like, so I kind of knew that about myself too. And I want, it had to be worth it because, and I also felt like Maggie also made a point, my wife, who I love, she was like, you know, whenever something becomes like work for you, that's when you start to check out. Like, that's when you start being like, you know, and so, you know, I feel like we made the right decision for both shows. Like, I think unbridled opinion, I told this to Stacey Moore when I had a drink with him at Rock Hill, was I was like, I think you should be psyched that there are people like us out there because you have journalism happening for you that literally has nothing to do with the paper. You have grassroots journalism happening for a league that has no coverage other than like whatever fucking Trey says on the cover so like they should be pumped that we're out there, even if we're saying bad things. Now, I think my opinion is Stacey gets that. Trey doesn't get it as much. I love Trey, but I think Trey just thinks like you should drink the Kool-Aid a little bit more, which I'm just not a Kool-Aid drinker. Like, it's just that
Listen,
always
we
have a
talked about it
healthy
before. I
dose
think
of,
that
like,
sometimes they
authority.
look at us as competition. Well, it doesn't have to necessarily be that. I mean, they're already there. They're already on the platform, so you're already going to get your followers automatically. Like, so to me, like they shouldn't look at us as competition. They should look at us as like a boost. We're promoting their product for basically for free for them.
Yeah, they're not paying us anything.
Of course,
like
we're actually at a loss. We're in the
yeah.
We're losing money every month.
Yeah, we're the
And you
jackasses
guys aren't
that are
anymore.
doing it without getting paid
Since
for it.
since we're in the circle of trust here, when I drive, the reason I stepped away from hard drag push for a little while, the last article I published, I got a lot of backlash from the ACL. Like, I had people like they were pissed. Like, I had people reaching out to me like saying like they want to know my sources. Like, this is 2 articles in a row that you released a bunch of stuff, and they came to me with an offer to try to get my sources. And again, I don't think they like the fact that I said like no, to me, like the integrity of like getting information is more important than the offer that they made me. I'm not even going to put the offer.
First of all, in a world that we're in right now, we're like in my opinion, like the media is a fucking joke. I don't care if you're liberal or if you're right. Like, both sides are a joke. We were actually covering it fair. I think like Pat actually McCracken, fucking God love the kid. He said it best. Like, when I was like, I don't want to feel like we're watching the ACL's balls because we were like talking about how awesome Rock Hill was. He's like, no. And he stopped the show and he's like, we tell it like it see it. If it sucks, it sucks. If it's awesome, it's fucking awesome.
And I thought you guys did a great job with
like place sucked.
Correct. I was just saying, Rock Hill, you guys awesome. And Asheville, like, you guys told it like it was. And I think you guys spoke for the majority of. You guys weren't even talking like as a podcast. You guys were talking about as consumer of their product for going there as fans and people that are going there. You guys probably spoke to
by the way,
80% of the people there.
Yeah, because by the way, what people probably don't know is like we literally paid to go. Like, we all paid. Like, me, Pat, and Donnie. I'll tell everything there is to tell about the Dogcast. Like, last year we all threw in $2,500. We're like, we'll start the the hats, all this stuff. And like, I don't know, we got like $3,500 left. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, somehow that money went, you got to pay people to do your taxes, people buy some hats, but like, you give some out, shipping. Like, whatever. Like, it's and whatever. Like, but I said to Pat the other night, it's funny. We were at League and our Doghouse, and I was talking to Donnie too about it, but I'm like, dude, like Pat was like, I still think like Maggie like loves the dog. I was singing him like the logo and everything. I'm like, I don't want to run a clothing company. I don't have time to run a fucking clothing company.
Yeah.
I'm about 23 years old.
I
I'm
get
not
it.
Austin Reynard with his fucking Tesla. You know what I mean? Like I don't have time for this fucking shit, by the way. By the way, I took a lot of heat on that post I put up about him. Oh, God. Some dude was like,
Love
real
it.
bad look for you, B. I'm like, come on, dude. Fuck off, by the way.
I ended
This
the
is
show.
the world's
anyway,
fucking
so-
smallest violent play for you and your feelings.
Yeah, correct.
Fuck off.
He didn't end the show. It's still recording.
Yeah, correct.
All right.
All right,
So,
so
hey,
sign-
I will.
Yeah, so we'll sign off and we'll
Hey,
we'll
but
keep you
can
on.
I be a recurring guest though? Is that
Of
am I
course.
retiring?
You know,
Of course,
you're
you're
welcome
welcome
on anytime,
anytime, bro.
You're welcome on anytime. All right, so we'll let the folks that go at home. Or Brendan, obviously, we're keeping you on.
Yeah,
I
obviously,
want
we're
to go
gonna
home
drink.
yet, so
Yeah,
we're
there's still
gonna
a little
keep
bit
you
of
on.
whiskey in that bottle.
It's only 10 o'clock.
So actually, I was gonna put this right next to you. So
Uh,
here,
Fair enough.
So-
There's no other mixer, so you're just straight whiskey now.
as always, we hope you throw it straight, and it's nothing but 4 baggers from here on out.
Cornhole it.
Later.